Amrita, Mrs. Amrita Fadnavis will be joining after the inaugural, Vaidehi?
Yes, around 4ish.
Okay. She's already there. Welcome, madam.
Someone from our office has logged in.
Okay.
And I'll give her a call about 5 minutes after Dr. Tang sir's lecture. So she will log in at that time.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Vaidehi, for coordinating that. And we can go live now. Rashmi.
Yes. Abhijit, are you there?
Rashmi ma'am, we are live now.
Yes.
Share the presentation.
Shall we start, Abhijit?
Yes, Rashmi, share the
Yes.
presentation.
Yeah. A very good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to this webinar on all about women of substance. Next, please. This is produced in joint collaboration of Vidarbha Isopar and Clearnet Pharma and is dedicated to promoting women's sense of self-worth, their ability to determine their own choice, and their right to influence social changes for themselves and for others. Next, please. Let us go to Ma Saraswati. I request all of you to kindly join inaugural function. Thank you very much. The convener of today's webinar on women empowerment is Dr. Surekha Tade. Dr. Surekha Tade is professor and unit in charge at JNMC Savangi, and she is also president of Devi Savangi Obstetrics and Gynec Society and president of Vidarbha Isopar. I request Madam to kindly give her welcome presidential address to the House. Dr. Surekha.
Thank you, Dr. Rashmi. Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and all the participants. I'm a woman of substance, created by God, beautiful on the inside and the out, loved and cherished, one of God's beautiful designs. I am unique. There is only one me, wanting and desiring to be all that God created me to be. Mother of the earth, a wonderful gift to the world, making an impact on society with expression of love and kindness, a woman of substance, a rare find. It's us, all of us here, the woman of substance metaphors. So here we are, the Isopar Vidarbha chapter, along with the Devi Savangi OBGY Society. We have been traveling, touring the nation with a lot of academics programs. In fact, we have been to various states, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Haryana, Punjab, in the south, Karnataka, the Kerala, Maharashtra, Gujarat, West Bengal also, and the Northeast. And we have been doing a lot of academic events, for the mother and the child. Most of the time, the skill trainings, discussions, deliberations. But now, today, we are on another platform, a unique one, where we will be celebrating the women of substance. Here, I would like to welcome our chief guest for today, Professor Krishnendu Gupta sir. Welcome, sir. Professor Kamal Bakshi ma'am, our guest of honor, Narendra Malhotra sir. Then we have very unique speakers with great oratory skills, Professor Pankaj Desai sir, Dr. Parikshit Tank, and we have our three great ladies, women of substance, Mrs. Amrita Fadnavis, Dr. Nandita Palshetkar, we have Dr. Reshma Pai, the three interviewers, Dr. Rashmi Kaha, Dr. Vaidehi Marathe, and Dr. Yeah, Anuradha. And we also have the chairs who will be, again, they are unique people, unique leaders, Foxians with great impact. Dr. Lakshmi Srikhande, we have Dr. Selvi Priya, Dr. Kavita Gautam, and we have Dr. Rajendra Singh Pardeshi, Dr. Girish Mani, and we also have debaters with us, Dr. Maninder Ahuja, and our judges for the debate, Dr. Ambuja Chornur ma'am and Dr. Mandakini Maeve ma'am. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but let me extend a warm welcome to all of you. And here we are all to celebrate the women of substance, to celebrate womanhood, to celebrate the women, their empowerment, and their very existence. With that, Dr. Rashmi, I hand over to you.
It's a small correction I have to say. Today's webinar is in collaboration with Corona Remedies and with REMEDIES. Next slide, please, Abhishek. So we welcome respected Dr. Krishnendu Gupta sir, respected Dr. Kamal Bakshi madam, and Dr. Narendra Malhotra sir. I request Dr. Surekha Tade madam to kindly introduce our chief guest, respected Dr. Krishnendu Gupta sir, to the house. Slide change, please. Dr. Surekha madam.
Rashmi, I'm back. Sorry to have lost connection. Am I
Madam,
audible, Rashmi?
Yes, you are absolutely audible, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And let me present to you a personality who is an institution in himself. It is an honor and proud privilege to introduce to this august audience our chief guest, inspiration for all, most successful Foxian, great teacher, researcher, and collaborator. A teacher par excellence with national and international academic achievements. Just looking at him, you will know what is discipline, what is scholarly attitude and acumen. So we present to you Professor Krishnendu Gupta, who has done his undergraduation, post-graduation from Mangalore and Manipal, and yes, he has achieved his international academic achievements from Ireland and UK. He is FRCPI and FRCOG. He's been the teacher of teachers. We do remember, sir, your tenure as ICOG chair in 2016, and also as the president of the Bengal OBGY Society, president of ISOPAR, Kolkata chapter from 15 to 19. And apart from that, all the international collaborations sir has had with number of organizations like AOFOG, where he has been the Foxy representatives from 2020 to 22. He's on the FIGO committee of climate change and toxic environment exposure from 21 to 23, chair of SRH committee of AOFOG, WSSR committee, that is Women's Social and Sexual Rights of SEPOG. And we do know sir's so many scholarly achievements, like he has been the reviewer of Jogi and the editorial board of SEPOG, that is the Journal of SEPOG, and JOGR, Jogi and JIMA. So, and also, sir, it's a proud privilege that sir is the International Lead Fellow of MRCPI and MRCOG exams also from 2017 till date. Sir, but all your academic achievements, we do know that you have that social one tweak also. How do we know that? From your email address. It says 007. So we do know that you have that one para-academic side also. So welcome you, sir, for your address.
Thank you very much, Dr. Surekha, for this very elaborate introduction. I feel a little embarrassed, but I'm really grateful to you and to Dr. Rashmi and to the entire Vidarbha chapter of ISOPAG for giving me this opportunity. You all have been extremely kind of vigilant about your correspondence, and it's amazing that you have managed this power-packed dream team of faculty for your webinar, and it's nothing but shows your hard work, and which I think Dr. Ambuja said in the initial part, that it's really a power-packed program. But as I said, all the women here are women of substance, no doubt about it. But what is amazing is that you have chosen Professor Kamal Bakshi to be here, because she is a legend of our times. I've heard her in these webinars giving her, words of wisdom, and it's always a kind of an education listening to her. I'm a great fan of hers, and so I'm not going to take much time, because I would rather give my time to her for her pearls of wisdom to us. And I wish this program a great success. I can only say one thing, that women's empowerment has been an agenda of mine. The day I think I had a daughter of my own, my only child, and I could manage to vaccinate her with that HPV vaccine in November of 2008. And although I'm not an oncologist, I really don't like much of gynec oncology, but I love preventive oncology, because that's the only thing we have with us, one vaccine which we can prevent a cancer in women. And I think we as primary care physicians of women, we must take this up very strongly. We do so much, but I think this is something we can prevent. And I think if we can do that for our, for the next generation, I think we can go to kind of sleep well whenever we do in the future. So thank you very much for this opportunity again. And I'm really grateful to all of you. I see so many seniors here, Dr. Naren, Dr. Pankaj Desai, and so many others. And Dr. Mandakini Meg is logged in. And it's really great to see all of you. And thank you very much for this opportunity once again. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And, when we started interacting for this webinar, the one thing which struck us by the discipline and your eye to, the small details. Sir had sent his biodata, and there was one small, can't say a mistake, but he sent it again and he acknowledged. And so I think these are the small things that we learn from great leaders like you. It's not that, it's that mentorship and which you do for all of us, and that makes all you great leaders. So we acknowledge that, sir, and thank you very much for being amongst us, and hope that you'll be throughout the webinar, because this is such a unique format. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to say one thing here. If you have a teacher like Professor A. Padmarao of Manipal, whom I'm sure Professor Kamal Bakshi knew, and my teacher, Professor Pratap Kumar, being meticulous is ingrained into us. So I think we cannot escape right from our postgraduateship.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I have the honor of welcoming the first woman of substance of this event, and that is Professor Kamal Bakshi. Can I have a slide? But I must say that again, when we just look at ma'am, we get inspired. We know this is how a leader should be. This is how a person, a teacher should be. Professor Kamal Bakshi, MD, FRCOG, FAMS, FICOG. She has been the former professor and HOD of AIIMS New Delhi, now presently the senior consultant at Indraprasth Apollo Hospital and Fortis Love Fame. Professor Kamal Bakshi has shaped the trajectory of Foxy's academic activities. As you can see, she was the first person to have, from not only India, but from globally, she's the first person for USG guided fetal skin biopsy in 1988. And now we are seeing the lot of, fetal medicine expert. The first one to be the first expert from the Department of Fetal Medicine at AIIMS is Professor Kamal Bakshi. And in 1996, She has come up with intrauterine fetal blood transfusion. We have a lot of publications of Madam also. She has done a lot of work on in uterine balloon therapy at that time. And because of all this, her students have gained such a lot because years back, the fetal medicine department has started. And she's a BC Roy awardee, eminent medical teacher, Lifetime Achievement Award from Foxy, AOGD, Bharat Jyoti Award, Indo-Norwegian Scientist Award. And she has been given the title of a living legend by International Journal of Gynec Plastic Surgery. And also the Kamal Bakshi oration has been instituted in recognition of pioneering work in fetal medicine. Former president of Foxy and ISOPARP also, with more than 2,050 publications. Even now, when you talk to her, you feel the charm oozing from her personality, and you are bound to feel inspired and touched to the core. So please put your hands together for Professor Kamal Bakshi. Madam.
Dear Surekha ji, first of all, I must thank you. What an amazing substance you have chosen. Substance. Whether it is a human being or whether it is a robo you're talking of. You're talking of human beings. That is men and women. Sexes, nature has made different. They are equal. So we women do not want equality. Today you have seen a man of substance and we have the women of substance. See, he gave his time. How many men gave time to women? He says, I have a daughter. He is a proud father. So look at the proud generations he will bring. Look at what is discipline, meticulous. These are the things what the teacher, what the woman, what the man, what each one of them. And I must say, you all, young and seniors, every day that I've aged, I respect the youth. You have more hardship than us. But what I admire is, I don't like mimicry of the West. I do not say, I would say, my introduction would be, I am Kamal, not so. I am Amazonian, where I got education. I am Delhi, where it is. So it is not what I inherited. It is not what my father did. It is what I am an individual. I have 2 daughters. And that day, my husband, he opened the bottle of champagne, and my mother-in-law says, what is this? He says, Ma, I'm proud to be a father. So we have proud men of substance here. As I wanted to be a lawyer. My father says, if you keep on talking, nobody will marry you. I said, I want to be an artist. There's nothing doing. You will be poor. I thought, let me be poor. Let no man be there. I will get the man whom I want. I was in Mumbai. I left Mumbai and came to Delhi to follow my dreams, And what you read about my biodata is not my biodata. It is the women of India who had problems. Their problems took away my sleep. It is my team of aims, the young, all who got together. We all moved together, and these are the results of together. I am so fortunate, Surekha, that you called me so that I can learn from everybody. I'm an admirer of Pankaj. If you will hear him, wow, everything will be glittering. Even murjhaye hoye phool bhi, wo kya, bilkul will start giving the smell. You have called Narendra, again a great academician. I forget about Taj. What is Taj? Where thousands and thousands of men and women, their hands were chopped off. So that it is the individual Taj that admired. I would say we admire the hands, that gave that Taj, Look at that beautiful, As far as Rishma Pai is concerned, she's again a great lady. When she speaks, the whole sky glitters with the stars. And when you have Nandita, then kya subha ki morning sun, and she gives such pride and happiness. And if I were to describe each woman and man, I love men, I love women, and I love humanity. I love to be women. And thanks for inviting the old lady who's going to knock the floor. It doesn't matter, but you have made my day. Namaskar, and namaskar to Dr. Usha, the national president, and you, the president of Vidarbha. See, there are so many beautiful people, but every second of yours is more precious. And to me, diamonds don't matter, car don't matter. You beautiful children matter. Namaskar.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. And I have a small poem dedicated to you. A few lines just. मैं अबला नादान नहीं हूँ, दबी हुई पहचान नहीं हूँ, मैं स्वाभिमान से जीती हूँ, रखती अंदर खुददारी हूँ, मैं आधुनिक नारी हूँ, मैं सशक्त हूँ, मैं स्वर्णिम हूँ, मैं स्वर्णिम हूँ, मैं स्वर्णिम हूँ. I am the woman of substance.
Thank you,
ma'am, all those words. And we are really, just you being on the dais makes us feel so proud, and we are so humbled by your presence. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being there. And now I would like to welcome another dignitary, another luminary, another person of great leadership, another one who inspires us so much, Dr. Narendra Malhotra, sir. The most approachable leader, the most wonderful person. You just call him and you feel, oh, you feel that humanly, that feel you get, the touch you get of a person. He's such a person of high dignitary, person of learned acumen. You can see from his degrees himself, MBBS, MD, FIA, then FIC, MU, FIC, OG, FIC, MCH, FR, COG, FICS, FMAS, and AFIAP. So you can see that the quest of knowledge, I think, is what has it defines Dr. Narendra Malhotra. And I must see another one beautiful dimension of his is entrepreneurship. So if you have a doctor and an entrepreneur combination, then Dr. Narendra Malhotra is the one. I think he is the one. And another thing which I must say defines him is the way he shares his knowledge. I have been through his presentations because he has shared them openly on the website, and he asks openly to use them, to share them. So the way he shares his knowledge is what defines him. Apart from what all he has done, service to womankind, being the director of ART Rainbow, being the Manyata director, being director of so many projects, being past president of Foxy and past vice president of Subfog, WFP, then Rotary Club. So all these organizations which he has led, and apart from that, the social, the way he has led the social reforms, I think when he talks about mentoring so many women. I have seen him mentoring youngsters and taking them to a pinnacle of success. So that is what I think what defines Dr. Narendra Malhotra, and he's so approachable. Anytime you call him, he'll pick up the phone in the first ring. Thank you so much, sir, for being so close to us and being so inspiring. So for your words, sir.
Thank you, Surekha, for those very, very kind words. I don't think I deserve all of them. It's a women's day, it's Women's Substance Days, and being a ladies doctor, sorry, not a lady doctor, which I always wanted to become. It's my pleasure to honor all these women. You know why? Let me first add, Dr. Kamal Bakshi bhul gayi, unka beta main hu. She has adopted me as a son long back. And madam, I'm always there. Yeah, if you remember, from the day we met in All India Institute when we came to do our Ethicon fellowship as young postgraduates. So that since then, we have been close to, she's been a great motherly figure to all of us. What Madam said is that it is time to rethink. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao was given by Foxy in my year 2008, and this government has adopted it. We are very, very happy that the government has taken it, but we need to change because betiyan pad gayi hai. In every village, you have girls who are MA, PhDs, everything. But abhi bhi bachi nahi. So empowerment is still missing. Empowerment is not education. That is what in my theme here I had called women have 4 E problems: education, empowerment, environment, and employment. So the 4 E's we have to tackle, all the 4 E's. Then only we will be telling that our women are empowered. So let us change the slogan from Beti Padhao, Beta Samjhao, or Beta Samjhao, Beti Bachao. So it is time for men to understand the value of women. It's time for men to understand that these women have to be right next to you and not behind you. And it's time, or sometimes even in front of you. And that is what will take this world, make this world a new world. And the newer generation is a tolerance, no tolerance generation, which I would say. And it is now getting more difficult to get married with the newer generation, but very easy to separate. And not like our generation when it was very easy to get married and not impossible to separate. So that is what we have to teach the newer generation. I congratulate on you all on holding this seminar on social media, on women of substances. And we see 3 of them who will be talking or being interviewed. And of course, my dearest friend Pankaj Desai will be talking to you about the 3 problems. Thank you very much once again for inviting me here, Surekha. I am in 3 webinars and I'm also in a holy function, as you can see by my shirt. So it is a crazy day for me, but it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And when we look at you, we all see the family person in you also. So when you look at Dr. Narendra, we also find Dr. Jaydeep by the side, Dr. Niharika, and the kids. So it's when you look at you, we feel so loved ourselves, because that is how you present yourself as a family person, and that is how you create that inspiration, the family values and the Indian culture which you represent so well. So thank you, sir, for being here with us. And with that, now I hand over to Dr. Rashmi.
I am the world's best babysitter. Huh? So if anyone wants to leave children with me, they can. I'll keep them very happy.
Thank you. Yes, sir. We have seen your pictures with the babies. Thank you so much. Rashmi, please.
Thank you, respected chief guests and guest of honor. Let us move towards our first session. Abhishek, will you please put the slide? Can I call upon my dearest friend, Dr. Jaya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Jaya Turaskar. After taking blessings of our respected guest of honor today, let us start our first session, which is very interesting and currently trending topic of COVID era, that is social media and OBGYN. So, respected speaker for this session is Dr. Parikshit Tang, sir. Respected chairpersons are Dr. Lakshmi Shikhande madam, Dr. Selva Priya Saravanan madam, and Dr. Kavita Gautam madam. Next slide. It's my proud privilege to introduce Dr. Lakshmi Shikhande madam. Madam needs no formal introduction. She is chairperson-elect ICOG. She is national corresponding editor of Jogi, National Corresponding Secretary, Association of Medical Women, India. She is founder patron and being president ISOPA Vidarbha chapter 1921. She is chairperson of IMS Education Committee 21-23, president Association of Medical Women Nagpur. She has many academic distinctions and awards like Nagpur Ratan Award at the hands of Union Minister Shri Nitinji Gadkari sir. Received Bharat Excellence Award for Women's Health. She has received Mehru Dara Hasotia Best Committee Award for her work. Received appreciation letter from Maharashtra government for her work in the field of Save the Girl Child. She has been senior vice president of Foxy. She has been president of Menopause Society, president of Nagpur OBGY Society. She has delivered many orations and guest lectures, and there are many publications in international and national journals to her credit.
I would just like to add that Dr. Lakshmi is the immediate past president of Vidarbha Isoparp, and wherever this organization has reached, all the credit goes to Dr. Lakshmi Shrikande. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Sureka.
Next slide.
Jaya, please go ahead.
Welcome, ma'am. Our next respected chairperson is Dr. Selva Priya Saravanam, madam. Madam is Secretary Nagarcoil OBGY Society. She is fetal medicine consultant, reproductive medicine consultant, and she is Secretary of South Chapter of Indian Fertility Society. We welcome you, ma'am. Next slide, please.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kavita Gautam, madam. She is lead clinician, director, Bloom Fertility and Healthcare, Chennai. She is director of Bloom Birthing Center. She is executive committee member of Tamil Nadu chapter of IAGE, South Zone coordinator for Foxy Infertility Committee. She has been chairperson of ICEE 2018 Mahabalipuram. She has authored chapters in many indexed books. She has delivered guest lectures, and she has publications in national and international journals.
Yeah, both of them are very good friends, Selva and
Yes,
Dr. Kavita, and we have invited them here for that wonderful social presence they have. I must say, Dr. Selva, the way you lead in the social media and the way Dr. Kavita presents herself, both as women of substance and Dr. Lakshmi, all the three, that is why we find you the apt chairpersons for today's this session, which is on social media and OBGYN. So over to you, Dr. Kavita.
Thank you, Dr. Sureka and Vidarbha Society for recognizing us and inviting us to be the chairperson for this wonderful month, Women's Month to celebrate women of substance. I am here to introduce Dr. Parishik Tank, a great orator, a wonderful teacher and a researcher. I don't think he needs an introduction. Every one of us should be knowing him as a great orator. So Dr. Parishik Tank is a consultant, Ashwini Maternity and Surgical Hospital and Center for Endoscopy and Assisted Reproduction, Mumbai. Honorary Professor of Pacific Medical College, Udaipur, consultant for assisted reproduction in 16 centers all over India. And he's a treasurer of Foxy, chairperson, Safe Motherhood Committee, Foxy.
Kavita, if you don't mind, we could stop the formal introduction.
Sure,
it's perfectly
sure,
all right.
Definitely, everybody knows you and your expertise. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. If I may just be allowed to start sharing my screen. Thank you. So while all this is happening, I must first thank Dr. Taide and Dr. Rashmi and all the wonderful people who are a part of Vidarbha Isopub for the invitation to be a part of today's program. And I'm really lucky to have such fantastic chairpersons, Dr. Shrikande, Selva, Kavita Gautam. Thank you very much. I mean, it's a pleasure to see all of you. And you know what's the cherry on the cake? It's all these lovely chief guests and guests of honor who have blessed us today with their presence. Later in the program, of course, there's much more action and wonderful speakers ahead. But let's begin with the pleasures and perils of social media for OBGYNs. And really speaking, it's not only for OBGYNs. This could be a little general kind of talk for doctors. But today, since we are in a OBGYN program, let's make it a little narrower focus. So let me begin with disclosures. Unfortunately, I have no financial disclosures, which is a pity, because if I had been wise and invested somewhere in one of these companies, then life would have been very different. I use social media just like everyone else, and just like everyone else, I have all the normal problems with it. And a lot of this presentation has been, it has been cobbled together with suggestions and inputs from other friends who are on social media. So it's like a crowd-funded or a crowd-sourced kind of presentation, which I have put together. Now, when Dr. Taide has mentioned that We have absolutely wonderful social media personalities who are chairing this session. I think it's quite apt that I should make it very clear that I'm not here as a font of wisdom. मैं यहाँ ज्ञान बांटने नहीं आया हूँ. It's just some observations and some suggestions which might be useful for everyone who's logged in today. I think before we go any further, let's accept one thing as far as social media is concerned, and that is privacy is an illusion. When you log on to social media, you have to first accept this. You might make whatever filters and settings, etc., in your account, but remember that everything is accessible and everything will be accessed if it is interesting enough. So decide what you want to put out there, what you want to say or share in that particular tone or that particular manner before you post it. Today, it's very easy to take screenshots. So that particular message or that particular picture will go way beyond your circle. I mean, it's going to be seen by the general population. I think that's something that's important to understand. And medical data, images, and details are no exception to this. They say that man is by nature a social animal. He who lives without society is either a beast or a god. And that is what Aristotle thought about the nature of society and the nature of human beings. But today, I think instead of saying that man is by nature a social animal, he has become a social media animal. And there's hardly anyone who does not use social media in some form or the other. Maybe somebody is active on all platforms of social media. Somebody, excuse me, somebody a little more on Twitter, a little less on Facebook, so on and so forth. But we are all a part of this big game. So what's the nutshell? I mean, if you put the pleasures and purposes on one side and the perils on the other, social media is great when you use it just for fun, to de-stress, to find new friends or followers, to get company. But time is a finite resource. We all are born with 24 hours in a day, and you can't get 24 hours and 1 minute, whoever you are. There are distractions and personal entanglements which can happen. On one side, you have the collegiality, and on the other side, you may have to face professional jousting. Validation versus non-validation is something which we have to balance out. And while we pursue some kind of agenda, either personal, professional, political, we also have to deal with trolling, negative comments, so on and so forth. It's great to be a promoter or an influencer, but privacy somewhere or the other might get compromised. And information and sharing, especially about medical awareness with our colleagues and with the general population, is a great plus what social media gives us, but there's also the potential for fraud. So having looked at this nutshell, let's dissect this out a little further. So if you look at social media just for fun, I mean, there's great jokes, humor, there are memes. If you're not the sort who likes this kind of humor, then you can look at a lot of calming images, your favorite songs, there's media, there are funny videos to keep you entertained when you're down. So there's a lot to it if you use social media just for fun. There are many avenues where this could work. And of course, there is collegiality. And by collegiality, I don't mean only professional collegiality. It could mean so many other things. I mean, say you're interested in reading. You could join Goodreads and you could share your observations or your reviews with other people who are not necessarily doctors, but they are just people who love to read the same kind of genre that you like to read. Or if you love films, then you could join a film club, a journal club, reading club. There's so much of company that you can gather on social media. So being connected, there's an ease of communication. I mean, if you look at announcements, for example, okay, this is the last day to register for this particular conference, and you might have thought a month ago that, oh yes, I want to attend that one, and suddenly Facebook reminds you. That's a big plus, isn't it? So you can narrow down what you're getting exposed to by your particular interest or skill set or by an organization, and that gives you the right kind of company that you would like to associate with. But the problem is that after you've checked email, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and you're ready to start the day, sometimes it's lunchtime. And on an average, it's believed that an adult spends about 120 minutes a day on social media. That could, of course, not be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. like going to the OPD. It's interspersed between all your other activities through the day. But that's a long time to spend on something which is not generating revenue. Time is a finite resource. And if you have the bad habit of taking your phone to bed, then you're going to sleep late and it's going to be a disturbed sleep. Your circadian rhythm is going to be changed and you're going to have a little bit of dullness the next day. We all live in denial, and the most common denial is I never waste too much time on social media and I only look at it when I'm free and it never interferes with my work. Really ask yourself that question in a really interrogative tone. And do you know what social media companies call people who sign up? They are called product. Yes, Twitter is free, Facebook is free, WhatsApp is free. But what it takes from you is time. So if a service is free, you are the product. So remember that every time you're going to log on to any of the social media and make a conscious effort to somewhat curb what you're up to in front of the screen. So social media gives you friends, followers, and it's a great ego boost. Feeling popular is wonderful. One feels empowered to be influencing or talking to a great number of people than what you would normally do in your day-to-day life. But in reality, we have to understand that followers on social media or friends on Facebook or subscribers to your YouTube channel, they are not your friends. A friend is someone who will help you when you're in trouble. So these are not the people who are going to help you. And you might be investing a lot of your time, energy, and efforts into impressing this lot and forgetting your real friends who are going to really care about you when you land up in trouble. And we'll all land up in trouble one day. Well, validation is something which is an absolute essential for a human being. It's really the basis of society, isn't it? I mean, we all like to be liked. Everyone wants to be popular. We want it knowingly or unknowingly. And every time there's a like on something which you posted on any form of social media, your brain releases that little bit of dopamine. And that dopamine is a nasha. There's no other word for it. It's a high. And as you get more and more dopamine hits, it is a trend towards addiction. It's great. I mean, medically speaking, validation is good because it gives you a discipline to assess what you're doing and to do good work. It reinforces good surgical technique. And for youngsters, it really rapidly establishes them as somebody to look out for. It enhances their surgical reputation. But validation also has a problem. I mean, you might get hooked onto it. You want that validation and you live a person, and social media is only a part of your character or a part of your persona. So that's where validation becomes a problem. And if you don't get it in a typical social media setting, if you don't get validation, it leads to despair, desperation. But what happens when you don't get validation on your medical post? Say you've done a nice surgery and you put it up on WhatsApp or YouTube and you send the link to your friends and all. and nobody responds. I mean, you don't get the validation that you were wanting. Your immediate first question is, I did such a brilliant surgery. Wasn't it wow enough? Wasn't this good? Am I not a good surgeon? So now let me try something which is even more innovative and which might actually be a bit unsafe. So it does have a downside of not getting validated. We all have agendas, right? That's the next topic. And that could be personal, that's promoting oneself, maybe medically, non medically. It could be professional, or it could be the most futile, political. You're tweeting or you're promoting some political party. Oh my God, the effect of that is a drop in the ocean. Please remember that. Don't lose your friends over politics. They'll come and go, but your relatives, your friends are going to be yours forever. So you might have a positive medical agenda in the form of increasing awareness in the community or amongst your colleagues. You might want to propagate your work, your technique, and see that others also have a chance to look at your teaching videos, surgeries, etc. And that enhances your practice and reputation. And of course, I mean, let's face it, it's a form of low cost and legal advertisement as of now. I mean, the NMC rules also don't have anything about not posting your work on social media. So it's going to remain an agenda or an option which is going to be available. But there are certain precautions that I would like to draw everyone's attention to. If you are going to, then take a specific written consent for posting clinical pictures and material, even if it is non-identifiable. Okay, it's somebody's uterus and the name is not written on it, but yet don't post it without an consent. And believe me, if you tell people that, well, I'm going to use this to give a lecture, or I'm going to use this to educate my fellow gynecologists, there's hardly any patient who's going to refuse and say, no, don't do it. Maintain the woman's privacy, that's mandatory, and use appropriate social media filters to avoid the material getting accessed by children or by the general public. So, for example, you want to post a video of a vaginal surgical technique. There's a very simple way you can do that on YouTube. Just restrict it to 18 plus, and you can even narrow it down by saying that only your followers can look at that video. So there are many ways in which you can do that. And we all have seen these pictures of doctors with lovely babies. Yeah, that baby is cute, but is it yours? No, it's not. So ask the mom's permission whether you can do that or not. In the olden days, knights used to joust, but today these jousting rods have been replaced by endoscopes and ultrasound probes. And remember that all criticism is not constructive. The problem with jousting on social media is that it's amplified and it becomes permanent. So, okay, I mean, once in a while, a patient comes to us in our clinic and says that, well, we went for a second opinion to the other doctor, and she said that, well, this procedure is not required, and you said that it's required. So here it's confined to three people: that doctor, you, and the patient. But what happens when it's on social media? It's not amongst three people. It's going to be amongst 300 or 3,000, depending on how viral that story goes. So jousting will be permanent. I mean, even 6 months down the line or 2 years down the line, if somebody searches for that, you'll still find that story. The problem with jousting is that we feel very bad. Our egos are usually very fragile. We are thin-skinned people, and we simply cannot ignore a negative comment. So the moment there's some negative comment or trolling which happens so regularly, it occupies our mind space. And this much of trolling will occupy this much of mind space. That's the biggest problem. And there is a potential that it will affect how you practice, how you make medical decisions going in the future. Social media is great for rapid dissemination of information, discussions in real time, for academic events like this one. I mean, we have learned an entirely new way to exchange information and share knowledge thanks to Zoom platforms and WebExes and so on and so forth. And it's great for hospital groups, for patient care. Everyone sees the message and everyone knows what's to be done. And one particular use which has practically been fantastic is the RUSH team, which has been organized in Foxy. The concept came from Dr. PK Shah, if I remember correctly, and then a number of societies made these local groups that, okay, when a doctor is in trouble, he can just shoot a message on WhatsApp to that RUSH group, and everyone who sees this will come to help him. So that's fantastic use of information technology. But I have one problem with information. Misinformation is not far away. And they say that information is the new oil, but actually oil is not free. It doesn't spread as fast. And there's nothing like misoil, but there's something like misinformation. So misinformation or fraud can be innocent. I mean, it's like one of those stories that we see that in the COVID pandemic, wildlife returned to cities and there was a picture of a deer roaming around in Borivali and things like that, because humans were staying away. You might get some shopping offers which go to a dud link. Too good to be true, right? And then, of course, we all saw the overzealous preventive steps for COVID, gargle 25 times a day with this particular concoction, so on and so forth. But sometimes misinformation can be malignant. It can spread wrong practices, medical malpractice. There can be financial fraud. And for the men out there, please be careful. There can be personal fraud. There can be a thirst trap. And it's not unusual or unheard of for men to fall into these kind of patterns. So just one request at the end of the day, doctors, please don't send medical news, at least in the form of forwarded as received. Can't you take some responsibility and not forward that if you can't verify it? So at the end of the day, everything's got pluses, everything's got problems, but it's all about your attitude. I mean, how you're going to marshal these resources that you have, and whether you can live in sophrosine with social media. Sophrosine is a healthy state of mind characterized by self-control, moderation, a deep awareness of one's true self, and resulting in happiness of using the social media platforms. So with that, I thank you once again for your kind attention. And it's really been a pleasure to be a part of today's program.
Thank you, Dr. Parikshit. That was really thought-provoking, I think. Started thinking of, so many things. What you mentioned, I've been doing myself. So it feels as if as an introspection. So over to the chairperson, Dr. Lakshmi ma'am, please.
Parikshit, it was a comprehensive talk and you have covered all the evils of social media. And what I liked most was that, yes, everyone is posting the photos with that cute baby. And I always used to wonder whether they have taken permission or not. So you have really highlighted that beautifully and of course forwarded. I never forward, but I know I get forwarded as received. So that should not be done. And as you rightly said, it takes out your time, social media, but not only time, Parikshit, it takes away our privacy. Once you post a single line or a single photo on the social media, it is there permanently in the public domain. Nothing like privacy or this will not reach out to whom, and it goes out to everyone. And jousting, yes, that is really a social media evil. We should not we should not write anything bad about our colleagues just for fun. Also, we all have to be very, very conscious what we are posting on the social media. Parikshit, excellent talk.
Can we have Dr. Selva's perspective? Does she have a different perspective?
Yeah.
It's going to be different. What I'm going to talk is going to be a little different. First of all, thank you, Surekha, and thank you, Parikshit sir, for giving that elaborate talk. it's always a fashion to say, it's not I wouldn't say it's a fashion. Always people will always be against the media. Whenever we talk in public, we enlist all the negative aspects. See, even in our medical profession, what are we allowed to do? If the patient comes to us with a problem, can we just tell them, do this, do that? No, we're not allowed to do that. We are just allowed to give them the options. We are just allowed to tell them what is right, what is wrong, and what may happen if they choose this and if they choose that. And the final decision is actually the patients. They need to choose from the options we provide them. Similarly, even in the social media, we need to know about the positive things and the negative things. And the option is finally left to the person who is actually dealing with it. Because I see social media in a different perspective. After analyzing the plus and negative, if you still opt to choose, you have to be cautious, and you should also know the nooks and corners, like how Sarah told about the forwarding part of the messages without knowing the validity. That has to be definitely taken into consideration. So keep, for example, somebody like me. I am from the south of the country, from Kanyakumari. I don't travel so frequently like any others. And so what I would think is social media is a way where I stay connected with my friends. With relation to the patients, what I would like to say is, one fine morning, if you post a very nice YouTube video, or if you post a very nice video which says that you're very well versed in a particular subject, it actually doesn't grab attention. You have to have connect with a set of audience. And only when you have that connect, when we post something, what has this doctor posted today? It's very different. He says, the connect is very important among the person who is in the social media. And also the patients also, they need to know more through the doctors than from Googling. We complain patients about Googling, but it is also our responsibility to give them the proper medical validation for any condition, so that they also get information from authentic people rather than getting it simply from any available. So it is responsible and very cautiously, we have to know the negative side of it. Anything we put it on the media is going to come back to us, and we have to be aware, like how we give a report. For me, being a fetal medicine person, whatever I put on the report, I know one day it's going to come back against me if things go wrong. So whatever you put on it, you have to be cautious. That is how we need to deal with this double-edged weapon. You can use it. See, for example, a newspaper advertisement would cost, in the front page for quarter paper, would cost around 60,000, 70,000 for a particular zone. The same content, if you put it on the social media, and if you have so many people, you know that almost 20, 30,000 people are watching it. It's cost cutting. So like Sir said, it is and free advertisement. See, it's up to us to how wisely use it. And we are definitely fools if we think that the number of likes we get there and the comments we get there is actually reflecting in our personal life. Like, for example, even if I get 1,000 likes, I would never take it into my head that it is something. I know it is social media. I know what I want from there, and I know what I'm giving them. So I use it in the right way. And that is how everybody should take it. Sorry for almost making it like a short talk. But this is what I think. We have to use it very wisely, being aware of the plus and minus.
I think, as Selva said, it's a double-edged sword. Like, you can take it in the right sense, you can take it, it can also go against you at any point of time. I think we are in a generation where I think the 10 years younger to us doctors, or 15 years younger, are completely into social media. They think the way they can promote themselves or get patient is only through social media. And this is something which I am not for it. I am little scared. I don't know whether this authentic word of mouth still has a role, or maybe in another 10 years we might lose it. And these social media platforms like Practo and the other platforms are literally guiding everything in a wrong sense. I think the doctors are made to do surgeries without even seeing the patient, without even examining the patient once. So I don't know. I think all of us, Foxy, should take an effort to tell the doctors the do's and don'ts in the social media. I think we need a guideline for all the doctors. At least we need to know what is right and wrong and where it can go wrong. I think the younger generation should know that.
Thank you. Thank you, Kavita and Dr. Selva and Lakshmi Man and Parikshit sir. It's really thought-provoking session, I think. It makes us think and introspect and, make wise decisions. Every day we are on social media, but really there are certain things we have to look back and examine ourselves. I think that is what your talk has made us do. And with that, I think we can now move on to this very thrilling session of ours, the session 2, which is the dialogue, and which is a real, all of us have been waiting for this session to happen. And why is that? Because we have chosen a really unique format wherein, we have devised this format to pick the imagination of our viewers and ultimately drive our story forward. A story. What is the story about this women which we are going to present before you? This is a story of efforts, of hard work, challenges, character, emotions, success, and overall humanness. That is what this story is about. We are bringing to you all these 3 women, each unique in themselves, forging their way to create a place for themselves. Very successful, not only in social and professional life, but in personal life also. Don't judge me by my looks or my clothes. I am more than what meets the eye. Define me by the tough battles I fight each day. Define me by my courage to face them as I rise above, no matter how difficult. And that is what I think defines all our 3 women of substance, which we are presenting to you today in a unique format where we are going to have a heart-to-heart dialogue. Dil se dil tak. यहाँ पे हम आए हैं सबके सामने और all our 3 personalities, our women of substance are here with us, and let us put our hands together to welcome them with applause. So great applause for these 3 women who are there amongst us, and let us begin this dialogue, this storytelling, and let us delve into their life, to know them, to learn from them, to get inspired, to get motivated. So here we're presenting before you our first women of substance, an all-rounder. I must say, when I was going through the bio data of ma'am, I was feeling, oh, ma'am has done almost everything. She is a financer, finance leader. She's a banker. She's a tennis player. She's a singer. She's a person who has created a lot of charities. She is one who has, has her own personality. When I was going through Madam's life, I thought, here is a person who is multifaceted, I never knew that she has done her education in finance, and she leads, what we say, the money management. And what I was just looking at, wealth management, not money, but the wealth management consultant. So I never knew that. And that is how I think we learn when we go through a bio of other people, especially women who have risen, through the various, the travel they have gone through. I think that is what will give us a unique story for today. And that is where I think we have Mrs. Amruta Fadnavis between us. So great applause for her. And thank you very much for joining us here. And to interview her in a heart-to-heart talk is none other than our own Dr. Anuradha Ridorkar. We know her as a great orator. I must say, I have seen her interview so many people, and she has a unique style, which, it creates that a wonderful flavor. So here we are, Dr. Amruta. I will not speak much about Dr. Amruta myself, because I want Dr. Anuradha to bring out her facets and personality in front of all our viewers so that we can learn, we can get inspired by her life. So over to you, Dr. Anuradha, and we all await and we are all ears to hear Mrs. Amruta Fadnavis here. Thank you, and we are honored and we are privileged. Dr. Anuradha, over to you.
Thank you, dear Surekha. Good afternoon, all lovely ladies. My special thanks to ISOPAP chapter and Surekha and Rashmi for selecting such a hatke topic. So I have been told that without wasting much of a time, we should start immediately. So
I would just like the organizers to spotlight both of you.
Okay.
The host, please.
Okay.
Host, please spotlight. Go ahead, please, Anu.
So recently, just few days back, around Shivratri, I was just scrolling down my mobile. Sorry, Parikshit, if he's there. In between OPD, I know it's a bad habit, but that was a cool day. OPD was slightly light. And so I was scrolling down and I had to stop at one video where one lady wearing orange dress with a Rudrakshamala in her gala, and she was reciting Jatatavi Galat Jala Pravaha Patita Stale Gale Valambalambita Bhujanga Tunga Malikam. Oh my God, Shiva Tanda Stuti by one lady. First time I was listening it, and Amrutaji has delivered with complete conviction, complete energy, and what we call it as absolutely spashta shabdochar. This lady every time keeps me awestruck. Friends, she's none other than our very own Amrutaji Fadnavis. So, Amrutaji, most welcome. I always keep wondering, and this question I'm going to ask you, that in spite of being from a medico family, in spite of being from a family of reputed doctors like Sharad sir and Charu ma'am, how did you opt out for this different career? Asa vegli vaat nivdavi shika vatli.
First of all, a very good afternoon to all respected doctors and a very beautiful program arranged by you all. Good afternoon, Anuradha, Dr. Anuradha, and thanks Dr. Vedehi for inviting me on this August platform. In fact, there is something which is called natural acumen, which plays a huge role in what you decide in your life. And I go down the years back to the past, and I remember my parents sitting over the dining table along with my brother and I, and they would discuss hysterectomies and the bleaches and Caesars. And I never used to actually love that. Although I respect them and all the doctors beyond even God, but that was something which didn't make me comfortable. So since then, I had an inclination definitely for music. I used to manage my finances since my childhood, and I used to love to delve into depth of even taxation since then. I used to look after my parents' returns also. So I was a little bit inclined towards that, plus musically and in that creative direction, I had more inclination, which made me decide later. And my parents were good enough that they never pressurized me or even asked me to be a part of the fraternity, since they knew the kind of inclinations I had, the kind of mindset I had. And likewise, I did not opt for this noble profession, but I opted for my calling, which was finance, marketing. And I did continue with my musical journey, which I started in my childhood, thanks to my father who taught me the first few sargams, and my dadi, which continues till now, and I'm loving it.
Oh, that's great. You were destined to become such a great leader and to spend more time for your hobbies like music and everything. So proud of you, a girl filing returns and everything and taking a charge of finance from that young age. We are really, really proud of you. Amrutaji, I have always seen there is always a social angle or a social aspect in whichever work you are doing, whether it is Umang for the police or whether it is adopting a village like Fetri, whether it is Mitti Ke Sitare or whether it is a fashion walk for acid survivors. So what is your inspiration or vision which moves you in this direction?
First of all, before marriage, I was not that much inclined or aware of the social issues. I used to see my parents doing camps for the needy, but it was limited and there was not that kind of exposure to see the kind of problems which are there in the society. But after marriage with Devendraji, 24/7, handling issues and issues, I came across people, issues, and people started coming to me also. So after giving solutions to few of them, following up with their issues, I started deriving happiness out of it. That made me realize that this is also my calling. And I started spending my time into social activities, initially more into family and official works and less into social activities. Now I'm full-fledged into my social work, may it be related to environment or related to children of deceased farmers or looking into the village requirements. There are so many things which we are handling on day-to-day basis. But this calling came because of the feeling of satisfaction. And after I shifted to Mumbai, and even before, I always felt that if there is a little bit of glamour attached to any cause, it gives a lot of eyeballs. It creates a lot of buzz. So I used that part, which was already around me, to create a platform for the people who actually needed it as a stepping stone to a larger life. So it was just a source through which I tried to, one of the sources through which I tried to fulfill my desired result.
Do you feel that still in rural India, lot of work is needed for empowerment of women?
Definitely. In fact, whenever I've traveled across the villages, even in Palghar, Padas and tribal areas, I've seen that women there are not at all aware of their rights, but they have a feeling inside that they need to do something in life, but they are directionless. Moreover, there is no familial support. If you bring in certain idols, certain women who have done something in life, make them talk to these women and to the society, village society, there is a lot of difference in the way they think. Their thinking starts developing. From education to what they intend to do, to how they can do it. These ideas need to be told to them initially, and then they can take their own pace after that. So in villages, there is a feeling among women that they need to do something. There is fire in the belly, but only thing is direction is missing, which we need to give through NGOs, through august people like you, through government policies which are quite in place now. But there needs to be an awareness through familial support and in the minds of these ladies.
Great, because we know that you have adopted a village and you are working very hard for improving the sanitation and infrastructure development. You're working along with BMC for the wellness of the sweeper, and that is the real credit behind this woman of substance. Amrita ji, Surekha has already given different facets. You are a singer, you are a banker, and everybody feels that overnight Amrita ji has become a vice president. No, it is not like that. We would love to listen to your journey, joining your bank as an employee and now becoming a vice president.
So I've done my MBA and taxation laws from Symbiosis, post which I got campus recruitment in Axis Bank, wherein I was taken as a management trainee, which is an executive, and I was posted in the cash department in 2003. So I used to count cash, tally cash. That's what I did for 6 months.
Yeah.
And, Axis Bank had a main branch in Jhansi Rani Square, which was earlier called the UTI Bank. So I was with the bank since it was called UTI Bank. And from 2003, my journey started in banking. I was never into one department for more than max 1.5 years. So after cash, I was into CBDT, into government business. Then I was a relationship manager for private banking. And I was a branch head And then my profile changed again when I reached Mumbai. I went into back office because with Devin's profile, I couldn't do marketing kind of roles. It would clash with his standing. So likewise, I chose back office roles. I was into treasury, and currently I am into corporate banking. So it has been changing over the years, and I have given on an average 10 to 12 hours daily for my bank. Now I have some concessions because my social endeavors have increased to another level. So bank is also considering. But till I became VP 4 years back, I was literally working for 10 to 12 hours.
Yes.
I have asked the bank to give me some concessions. Definitely, I do not expect another promotion anymore till I'm again back to the bank full-fledged. But they have considered this, and I'm working a little bit part-time, you can say, with a few hours into my social activities also and other endeavors. But bank has been good to me in one sense that I've got this leverage. Other than that, for whatever promotions I've got since I joined the bank, it was my hard work, my familial support, definitely. And secondly, I have not joined the bank after marriage. I've been working before marriage. Post 4 years of my job, I got married. So I was already senior manager when I got married. So I don't think so. It has anything to do with Devendra or anything to do with the CM position. In fact, I have lost on better jobs because I rejected them with threefold or fourfold salaries because I did not want anyone to point out that I switched because we came into politically powerful positions. So I maintained my consistency with the bank and loyalty.
This was the answer I wanted many people to listen to keep them shut permanently. Now my question is how this title Mrs. Mukhyamantri changed your lifestyle, how it helped or plus or minus of becoming a Mrs. Mukhyamantri.
It has pluses only, as I see, with little bit hindrances here and there. In fact, you get a huge platform to do so many things for the people. And when you start loving doing things for people, it derives you adrenaline pressure. So that is the best thing you can do at this position. So I think so. It is like a situation where you can get things done faster. You can put across your thoughts to the most competent authority who can influence decisions. And I think so you can be an example for the women who want to stand on their own. Because I think so one kind of mental support or someone to look on to that, yes, she is changing the trend for good. So I can also change many things in my family, my society, for the good of people. If that thought comes to any woman's mind with the way I have conducted, I think my agenda for conducting myself this way has been fulfilled.
I think that is a perfect answer, using power in a correct direction and for a perfect cause. Now my last question. You are a singer, you are a social activist, you are a banker. As Surekha told, you are a tennis player too, and you are a celebrity, and you are a wife of Devendraji. So how you are managing on all fronts? In short, a word about work-life balance.
Personally, I feel that every woman does that. Even a lady traveling by train in the morning in Mumbai who's working is doing that very efficiently. It's about time management. It's about daily prioritization of activities. Definitely, it is about family support. It is about support of your trusted ones, creating a team around you. So all this matters, but what matters most is your intent. If you have an intent to do something and get something done, you can get it done. And few hours of the day, 10, 12 hours are enough for this. So I feel it is about time management. And I feel that sometimes I miss out on things, but we need not feel bad about it. We give our best to whatever we can do, leave the other things for the next day. Come up the next day every morning with the sun, with new energy, and start barging towards your aims.
Yeah, in Marathi we called Ichha Tithe Marg, which absolutely fits for Amruta ji. Amruta ji, I have seen Divija also following your footsteps and walking on the ramp walk, and she walked with that junior most survivor of the acid attack who was 7 years. And indirectly, this is the way one woman empowers the other. I think you have said everything about you. You have posted on Insta that what you have, many can have, but what you are, no one can be. Stay unique. So hats off to this unique lady. And I want just few lines as an advice or suggestion for the ladies of 21st century. And then I'll call it a day.
I would just say this to the lady of today, that fear nothing, because whatever you fear has no power. It's the fear in you has the power. So you just kill that fear. Go ahead and get what you want to get. Just go ahead and bargain.
Oh, great. So go ahead is the today's mantra which Amruta ji has given us. Surekha, with your kind permission, may I request Amruta ji to sing few lines? Few lines of her favorite song for all of us.
Definitely,
Please.
I think all of us
Please.
are eager. Thank you.
Please.
Yes, Amruta ji.
So I will sing one of my favorite ghazals. Whenever I'm out with friends and all, I always sing this. It just struck me, so I'll sing it. Aaj jaani ki zid na karo. Aaj jaani ki zid na karo. यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो लुट जाएंगे, ऐसी बात किया न करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो.
Thank you. What an excellent voice. That unplugged voice directly reaches here, Amruta ji. And हम लोग भी काश आपको बोल सकते आज जाने की जिद ना करो. But we will end on this note that we will love to meet you again and we will love to chat with you for a long time.
Thank you. This was a
Thank
great
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amruta. Thank you, Dr. Anuradha. I think the one word which really comes from our heart is aaj jaane ki जिद ना करो. दोनों भी आज जाने की जिद ना करो. एक कविता आपके लिए जरूर मैं पेश करना चाहूंगी. मैं सबल सशक्त नारी हूँ, मैं सेवा धर्मिता का पर्याय भी हूँ, मैं उन्मुक्त उड़ान की पहचान हूँ, मैं त्याग की सर्वोत्तम परिभाषा हूँ, मैं परिवार की बुनियाद भी हूँ, मैं सबला सशक्त नारी हूँ. And that is what is Dr. Mrs. Amruta Fadnavis. And also heartfelt thanks to Dr. Anuradha, and wonderful, and we would like Dr. Mandakini ma'am to kindly present this bouquet of our appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Amruta. So thank you so much for these insightful views. And yes, we also would like to thank Dr. Vaidehi Marathe, because she's the one who has been, can be given the credit of, for all of us to know the story of Mrs. Amruta and the inspiring insights into her life. Thank you, Vaidehi, from all of us and from Vidarbh Isupar family. Thank you to you. And with that, I think we can move on to the next thrilling encounter which we are going to have here, another story, another beautiful life which we're going to share with all of you.
Can I present the bouquet?
Yes. Kindly show the bouquet which and a few words, madam.
Yeah. So thank you, Amrita ji, for that wonderful insight which we could actually see your personal life and a great inspiration for all of us that we can multitask, and everybody of us is a achiever, and also we can guide our juniors to become very effortlessly we can, as a women, we can manage our life. One thing which I have liked in you is that though you are the wife of a political leader, but the way you are using your position to the advantage of the less privileged, underprivileged, and to the society is commendable. That is what I liked about your approach to the social work to be done. So thank you very much for that, all the this information which you have given us at this platform.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I think now everybody is awaiting another thrilling story, another insightful, the traversing of our own women of substance. I must say that is what defines her, because everybody on this forum thinks that, yes, she is mine. That is how she has managed to present herself. An empathetic leader with a great vision, influence, positive, and management. When we say management, it is not about, managing your scholastic and your patients, not that. That is not what I'm talking about. When we say management, it is about persuading people, persuading people to do much better than what they have and what they want, and motivating, inspiring to do what they never thought they could do themselves. So it is that, I think, which defines Dr. Nandita Palshetkar, and she has that one definite unique skill, I think, of bonding. She creates bond with an open-mindedness. We always find that तो बालिशपणा जो आहे त्याच्यामध्ये मला असं वाटतंय की we feel that oneness with her, that humanness with her, and that is what which defines her positive integrity. And I must say for her that I am a woman of substance. That is what she tells us. I am a woman of substance. My life is glorious. I have medals to flaunt, but my biggest trophy is my heart. And my biggest trophy is my heart. And that is what I give to all of you. So welcome, Dr. Nandita Palshetkar. And we have with us none other than Dr. Vaidehi Marathi to interview her and to take us through Dr. Nandita's life. And Nandu, as we call her so affectionately, she is ours. And Dr. Vaidehi who is the virtual queen. We all know her well, how she has presented herself in the first year of the pandemic. Everybody now have come to know as Vaidehi as that one icon who, if she is on the screen, we all feel so beautiful, and we start enjoying ourselves as women. That is what defines Vaidehi, I think. And so over to you, Vaidehi and Nandita, not only for an inspiring story, but a motivating story, and a story which we all feel should be ours. That is what we are here for. Thank you. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you. So thank you so much, President Ma'am, Dr. Surekha, for giving me this opportunity to interview a person whom I deeply admire, I respect, and I really look up to. She is a leader of leaders and with a heart of gold. Because real leaders do not create followers, but they create more leaders. They become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. So who else but Dr. Nandita Palshetkar, ma'am, to talk on the essence of women empowerment today. Welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here amongst us today.
I think thank you very much, Vaidehi. And the way Surekha has talked about all women, I think, it's beautiful that your fraternity looks at you that way. I think today my life, जीवनाची पुंजी जी म्हणतात ना ती आज मला मिळाली. खरंच इतकं प्रेम, इतकं हे शावर करता तुम्ही. So I'm really, really happy. And talking after Amrita Fadnavis, who was amazing. I mean, she was really so inspiring. It's an honor to be on the same stage. So Vaidehi, I'm looking forward to you because our bond is very strong. So I'm really looking forward to having a good time with you.
Yes, yes. So let's move on, ma'am. Here is my first question to you. So you belong to a very educated, cultured, and a very influential political family. All of us have publicly watched your progress and rise in this privileged environment, but you haven't taken it for granted. Instead, you've gone on to prove your mettle and you've created a niche for yourself. You become a very successful entrepreneur doctor and have reached a pinnacle of not only professional but also a financial excellence. What do you think, ma'am? How other women can achieve this financial excellence? What is it that you did differently? And ultimately, all said and done, we all can agree on this point that financial independence is an integral part of a true woman empowerment. Isn't that true?
Vaidi, I think I agree with you. Financial independence is empowerment, is respect, ability to live one's life. But remember that you talked about my privileged background and everything. So, if you look at it, when I was a child, I saw my father and my mother actually work very, very hard. My father had everything, but he still was working very hard. And, he sacrificed so much of family life because his whole ethos was social work. He wanted to care for the people. He was down to earth. He would listen to people, any simple person who would come to our house, and he would listen to them, respect them. I think this is something that I grew up with. And the staunch support which my mother gave. My mother was very educated. She was MA in Sanskrit, and a fabulous person. But she gave up all that during the very important years of our children's life. And what I learned, they kind of focused me. I definitely wanted to be a doctor, and I think they both, rather my mother was the driving force, ki माझी मुलगी doctor होणार. आणि तेव्हा काय there were not too many professions, and I went into medicine. But what I realized is, I had a choice between joining my father for in his educational endeavors, going into starting a medical college, working there, and any other thing that I wanted to do. But when I did my MD, I realized my passion was in IVF, was towards infertility, was towards medicine. And that's where I diverted, because I had seen that in my family, if you work with passion, the name, fame, and what you said, the financial independence actually follows you. So I think the most important thing that if anybody wants to be successful is that you work with a passion, you work with a focus. And, some things that my mother and father have told me have always stayed in my heart, that if you're passionate about something, then you can never get tired with it. Because one day I'd come home and I was very tired. I said, I've been working the whole day. He said, do you love your work? I said, of course I do. He said, if you love your work, it cannot make you tired. It will just give you energy to do more. And I think that should be a mantra. I want to give you a simple example of, how women like Jhansi Ki Rani, she was empowered. She was financially independent because obviously being the queen. But remember, in that empowered state, she set upon a simple Satbara Uttara. Aaj pan to ahe, ki 7 parts come to the to the person, and the 5 parts go to the state. I think a woman who is empowered can actually set forth a lot of directions. Women are more, once you get financial independence, you get that freedom of thought where you can direct, you can lead people. And definitely it makes. And you said about financial independence, let's look at our Foxy. It's actually a case study. Look at us, all women here who are educated, who are empowered, and who are entrepreneurs. I think if you see, a lot of husbands are actually supporting their wives, and the wives are the karta dharta. So it's a beautiful case study where financial independence makes a woman at the top. There are 6, I think, presidents of Foxy, last 6 women. Amongst there are 7 women presidents. So I think that financial independence gives the women the right to touch the ceiling and gives them that space. So I think passion, focus, and if you do it with that, the financial independence will come along with it. The education is very important.
Perfect, ma'am. You've given us the key words, passion and focus. So if you follow anything passionately, as you said, everything else will follow you. So that was a perfect message, ma'am, was that about financial excellence. I'm coming to my next question for you. This is a very simplistic, but maybe a incorrect conclusion that women are women's worst enemies. I have lost count of the number of times I've heard this. And this can be related to an important concept in feminism, which is called as patriarchal bargain. This may be the way to understand why women turn oppressors against women themselves while being simultaneously oppressed by patriarchy. But when I think of you as the leader of many important associations, you have mentored so many women. You have encouraged them, pushed them, supported them. So I think you are the right person to tell us on how we as women can create a world of women supporting women.
Vaidehi, first of all, I think it's totally wrong. You know what? Women oppressing women. I think it's not gender related at all. It's a human nature. Everybody wants to be on top. So in their race to be on top, whether it's a man or a woman in that position, some of them tend to do this. But I think most of the time, in fact, I have seen women work together. In fact, women are united on causes. They help each other. They work together. You can see so many, like Lijjat Papad, how the women got together and created an enterprise where women could work together and get the oppressed women up. So I think, this is completely wrong. It is not gender related. I feel that it is across men and women. But remember one thing, that what we do have, what you talked about feminism, what you talked about patriarchal system, women has to work twice as hard to get the same respect as a man does, because of the whatever things that have happened. But mala ek sangaयचे इथे, our predecessors, look at Anandbai Joshi. She became the first woman doctor in our country. And look, today we are what? How many maja angar kata hai when we talk that we have free access. We become doctors. We are entrepreneurs. We have independent leadership positions. So you need that one woman to make a difference. She has made a difference to our lives. So remember, Vaidehi, that the previous generation has got us this far. So we in this generation cannot give up. We have to continue the battle for gender equality. And today it's gender equality, gender neutrality. Right. I think what we are looking at. And each generation has to work very hard. Look at you. You have created a brand image in all over the on the national forum. I think this is what an opportunity when it's given to a woman, that is what can do. So I think what we need to do as women is we need to mentor. I am so happy to have given you that forum in AMOGS, which you began with it. There are so many people, even Surekha, I heard her talk in one of the programs, and I said, this is a girl with the potential. So many, I can't mention everybody here, but even I can see Rashmi on the screen. So I can, every woman here and our leaders like Meg, Lakshmi is here, Anuradha is there. All these women have actually, helped us. Let me tell you one example, which my mother did for me. During my 12th standard, I was doing French because I wanted to get into medicine. French तर म्हणजे पुस्तक पण उघडलं नव्हतं. My mother was a Sanskrit graduate. She knew nothing of French. She would sit with me for every day for 2 hours and sit with open your French book and study. That's what women do to each other. That is what we should do for each other. Another thing, I interviewed Kiran Muzumdar Shaw for the Global Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. She came in one of our programs, and I said, "Madam, what do you feel about how to help women?" She's saying, "Nandita, that the women don't get the same amount of loans as men get. But I have worked very hard, because when a woman comes to ask for a loan, she's given like in lakhs, whereas if a man comes, he's given in crores. So I'm trying to change that. So there are women like her who are helping, and women like us who have to help and bring forth women. So women don't hate each other, or women don't oppress each other. And another thing is, women are educating their sons today to respect women, and that is what is bringing about the change. So I think not only our girls we are empowering, but we also have to empower our boys. As you know, during my Foxy year, it was beti bachao or beta samjhao. And I think that is a very important thing what women need to do when we want to take away this patriarchal system. I think it's really, really important.
The very, very important message is there, ma'am. Women uplifting, pushing, and supporting each other. And you're the perfect example. As I said, you have picked up a few of us, like in Amogs, and the platform that you gave us really helped us, rise further and project ourselves. So really, that was a perfect example. As you said, your mother did that for you, or maybe we do it for our friends. So if we can create that amongst each other, and really, it's not about gender. It's about actually even men do that to men, but I don't know somehow why that happens. But when a woman does it, it's amplified many times. And that's why I said I had actually lost the number of times I've heard this sentence that women are their worst enemies. I think that's the commonest example is saas bahu types, where a woman tortures a woman thinking mala asa tras झाला आता हिला पण मी त्रास देते types. So I think, but gone are the days. We are more evolved and women are thinking about themselves. So thank you very much, ma'am, for that important message. Coming to my last question to you, ma'am, it's a common observation that women generally excel in whatever positions they are working. They justify all the responsibilities given to them. They do it to the core. When it comes to taking a bigger leap or to a higher position at the top, many of them just step back for whatever reasons, or they try to dodge it. मुलांची परीक्षा आहे, माझ्या नवऱ्याचा हा प्रॉब्लेम आहे, फॅमिली प्रॉब्लेम आहे, सासू आजारी आहे, and so on and so forth. But if the same opportunities are given, if they're given to both men and women, all the men will simply grab these opportunities. Whereas many of these women will step back thinking they may not be able to justify it, although they are equally or even more capable than men. So, ma'am, you have held many, many top positions in your life. What do you think? What does it take to forge your way to the top? Where should we start, ma'am? How do we groom our girls, the next generation girls, to bring about this change?
This is a very, very relevant question, because I know a lot of girls whom I give some work and they say, no, my child is giving 10th, my child is giving 12th. It's a very real situation that you're talking about, Vaidehi. But I think that it comes from responsibility. And the responsibility till today always was shouldered by the woman. But it is a changing trend now. Today, my son Rohan, my daughter-in-law has gone to Paris for her fellowship. She's learning some very advanced techniques in breast oncology. And my son is taking care of his daughter. He didn't hold her back, or she didn't hold back. She said, it's your job to take care of the child. And he also did not. So I think there is a changing trend. Ki doghani ekatra. The family has to work as a unit. And that will bring about the change in the women, because that sense of responsibility we have, which will never, never go away. Absolutely. And I feel my motto, we for Stree, making her safer, stronger, and smarter, really works in pushing her towards these roles. the whole world has to work towards it. Her health, her financial independence, what we talked about, and also her education, where she goes ahead and forges ahead. Remember one thing, I want to give you a simple example of a Sadi, simple woman, not anybody who is empowered or anything like that. Hirkani, everybody knows her story. Sadi, Sadi Stri hoti ji were Raigad la jaichi. She used to climb up. I think there are a lot of non-Marathi speaking people also. She used to climb the Fort Raigad to do her job. And then she would come down in the night because she lived at the bottom of that fort. One night she got delayed and the fort, the doors were shut. And they never open up, because you cannot, the enemies will come in. So by evening, the doors are shut. And she was so upset that her child would be without milk, without food, because she was stuck up. She looked down from the fort, and this was a precipice, a cliff which was straight dropped down. And this girl's only inspiration or her driving force was her child. And she achieved it and she went down. And Shivaji Maharaj actually named that thing after her, Hirkanitsa. So look at that, take example from that. It's a simple thing. What we women need is inspiration and a driving force, which will drive us towards that. So I think, the whole environment to become conducive, first you have to decide that you want to do it. You need to get inspired by it. You need to keep it, as a driving force that I want to scale that height. And then people will fall into place, support system will fall into place. I think it's very, very important. And another thing we women don't do is very, very, something which is very common. Madad kashi magaichi. We don't have. I am a superwoman. I can do everything myself. I can do this, I can do that, I can do. And at the end of it, we are fed up, we are tired, we are exhausted. Don't do that. Ask for help. Your family is around. My husband, amazing person. I think half the votes which I get in the election are courtesy him also. He's connected with everybody. But so that's what I'm saying. Ask for help. Ask for help from your friends. I think I've rung up all of you all to help me. So whatever you are, wherever you are a unit, and the unit is your support system. So inspiration, focus, and I think you can achieve what you want. And don't give up. Opportunity doesn't come knocking again and again. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's my dil se advice to all the girls, that once you make up your mind, you can do it. Because take help, ask for help, work with everybody, and don't lose that opportunity. That is what I have done in all my roles. A lot of times there have been setbacks, there have been this, but whenever there's a setback, I always take a different route, and I realize that thank God it happened, because it gave me courage to do something different, something fine. So I think girls, do not let your responsibilities hinder you. I think we can do, as Amrita Fadnavis ji said, time management. We are very good at it, and we are very good at multitasking. I can do 7 different jobs at one time. I have 7 secretaries sitting, 2 acre, and I know what I'm doing. So I think that's how women work, and we are super women, but with the help of people around us.
That's beautiful, important messages, ma'am. Don't try to prove you're a superwoman and ask for help. And I must say you are such a genuine and honest person. You publicly say that I call up people for help. I ask them, "Mala vote karago," whatever. All that type of support you ask for. That speaks so high about you, ma'am. It's really so nice to interact with you on such an important topic. So girls need to understand that don't lose of your passion, your focus, what you want to do. Ask for help. Take family support, and as women and as mothers who have sons, we need to teach them that they are equal partners and they have to share equal responsibilities, because I think that's the most important reason why women step back for their own family responsibilities. So that was such an insightful interview, ma'am. Just one last question and one last message I want you to give to all the women out there. what do you think was the real essence of women empowerment, and what is it that women should now do differently?
I think COVID has taught us that, everything is very uncertain, fragile. So I think happiness is very, very important. So you look, people like me want to just keep on doing more, but there are lots of people whose happiness is defined differently. I have so many of my friends who are traveling, who are doing different things, learning music, so many in our gynec fraternity. I think the key to it is happiness. And I also have taken a step back a little bit. This is my stepping back, okay, by the way. I have connected with my family, and we are, 11 people. I remember I still went to, Prerna Shande's house. 11 of us, the whole family went there, and we had a lovely time. But I told her I was taking a holiday with my family, and we are all coming together. But see, that's what it is. I think the family, being happy, being with people you want, being with friends you want. I think giving time to everybody is very, very important. And remember what you want. What do you want? I need my space. I need my me time. So very often, if I'm working a lot, I just take the afternoon off. And me zopte. And I'm sleeping. So I think it's very important for a girl, or take a massage. I love massages. So happiness in what is what you need, and you have to do certain things for yourself also. Don't neglect yourself over others. All the time you're doing for everybody, seva, 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 but think about yourself also. I think it's very important, because you are important.
So true, ma'am. I just wish this interview never ended, and I could, just like Amrita ji, sing for you, aaj jaane ki zid na karo, but but time, the clock is telling me otherwise, and we have to really wind up this interview. Thank you so much. We are indeed privileged today to have you with us, and you are leaving us with such important and very, very useful messages for all of us and for all the women out there. Thank you so much, Nandita ma'am. It was a great honor to have you today.
Thank you so
Absolutely
much. I really
wonderful.
enjoyed it. And one more thing I want to say, thank God you didn't tell me to sing, others everybody would leave from here.
Madam, I think this is an absolutely wonderful story which we had from you, and hats off to you. And I think this is one recording which I would preserve and as a treasure, so that I can listen to it again and again. The way you have shared small things which we should bring into our lives, and make ourselves, I like that thing, sotala mage naka dharu tumi, you go ahead. Whatever you want, you have it in you, and you should go for it. I think, and so many other things. I think I'll listen to it
Surekha
again and again.
Surekha
Yes.
I love the tagline. You are important.
Right, absolutely. Tare tumcha karta, and for ma'am, I have this wonderful a few lines. मैं सशक्त नारी हूँ, मैं वर्तमान में जीती हूँ, मैं विराम नहीं लेती हूँ, मैं उत्कंठा को भी सह लेती हूँ, मैं परिवार की धुरी बनकर जीती हूँ, मैं अल्हड़ हूँ, मैं मुस्कान हूँ, मैं प्रचंड तेज का आह्वान हूँ, मैं उन्नत विचारों का आह्लाद हूँ, मैं तेजस्वनी हूँ, मैं आशा की चिंगारी हूँ, मैं वरदान हूँ, मैं सबके लिए वरदान हूँ, मैं सशक्त नारी हूँ. I am the woman of substance, Dr. Nandita Palshetkar. And now I would request Dr. Krishnendu Gupta, is he there? I would invite him to present a bouquet of appreciation to Dr. Nandita.
Very much here. I have not, the only difference is that I've taken off my coat. But other than that, it's always a pleasure to hear Nandita. She speaks straight from the heart. And I can only say that I'm uniquely fortunate that in this lifetime, I know a person like Nandita, and I can call her my friend. And it's really wonderful to know her. And I think we've been VPs together. She's been our beloved president of FOGSI. And I'm really proud of her. And really, really grateful that I have a friend like her. And you heard her. So I think even the Marathi she was speaking, I could understand. So it's amazing. Thank you, Nandita. And it was a wonderful, even Mrs. Fadnavis spoke so well. I heard her as well. So I think it was wonderful. And I'm sure it's going to be a great continuous program.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we continue with our third thrilling interview. And I request all of you to be all ears to another charismatic leader, and Dr. Reshma Pai. And when we say charismatic leadership, that is where I think Dr. Reshma Pai comes directly in front of you. By that, I mean a leader who elicits strong emotions. You know, she creates followers, and she encourages just devotion and action just by her presence. You know, when you look at her, when the way she works, by the way she achieves, we feel that you should follow her. I think I love her skill of that charismatic approach to problem solving. So there are various kinds of leadership, you know, bureaucratic leaderships. This kind of leadership is you just be there and the problem gets solved by itself. And of course, people follow you, ma'am, for the work you do, your personas, and the way you achieve things by your mere presence. So that is what defines Dr. Reshma Pai. And to interview such a great, honest person and to delve into, you know, we always think the person who has risen to the top with such a lot of oozing charisma may not have, you know, just have things on the platter for herself, but that is not so. We know it, the life is totally different. And that is where I think now Dr. Rashmi Kahar will be interviewing our third woman of substance, our very own leader, Dr. Reshma Pai. I invite Dr. Rashmi to be there, interview her. Dr. Rashmi, as you all know, is the ever omnipresent Joint Secretary of ISOPAR, who is, you know, interacting with everybody, who is making people join our events. So here we are, Dr. Reshma Pai and Dr. Rashmi Kahar. The R squares here.
Welcome to the session Heart to Heart Talk. दिल से दिल तक हम पूछेंगे 3 सवाल और इन 3 सवालों के हमें मिलेंगे 3 सटीक जवाब. And for the same, today we have with us none other than Madam Dr. Reshma Pai. Madam, it's an honor to have you with us today. I extend a very warm welcome to you. And at the onset, let me congratulate you for receiving a most prestigious award by Government of Maharashtra for your dedicated 30-year service. Such a commitment, ma'am, to the women welfare. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Friends, does she need any introduction? No. A beautiful soul inside out, a hardcore academician, one of the leading and most successful OBGYNs of country, a loving sister, doting mother, beautiful wife, friend of friends, a social reformer, teacher, mentor, guide, and head of many associations. Madam, you are actually multidisciplinary multitasker. We are awestruck and we would really like to know, how do you manage on all the fronts?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rashmi, for that almost embarrassing introduction. Very, very kind of you. And let me begin by saying a big thank you and congratulations to Dr. Surekha Taide. What a well thought out and original idea to have a whole session on, women of substance. I think it's forums such as these which really emphasize the importance of women and their role in society and how they can bring about change. So thank you so much for this. I think the answer to your question about how we manage to do so many things at the same time is, I believe it takes a village. It's a very old saying, it takes a village to, bring up a child. It takes a village, and the famous book by Hillary Clinton So I think all of us have never been able to do anything on our own. We have to take support of our family, our friends, our colleagues. And, you know, I think, in fact, the Indian system is so wonderful, where we many of the time stay with our in-laws. So they are there to help us bring up our children, you know, a husband if he's supportive, and your family, your colleagues. So I think if you use all of this, then you really can do much more than one individual can do. So, and I basically think that the key really is to prioritize, you know, what is your, not really to prioritize on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So if, for example, on a given day, I have to attend parent-teacher meeting of a child, then that is my priority. Even if in the process I lose 2 patients, it's fine. It doesn't matter, because my priority has been clearly defined, you know. And I'm a true believer in the fact that success really comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it.
Yeah,
so it's so busy working that, you know, I mean, success comes, you don't even realize it, because so essentially it's all about hard work and, you know, focus. So I think if you do that, and you know, all of us, I think, as gynecologists and as women, we are natural, genuine multitaskers. I don't think men are capable of doing 5 things at the same time. Women naturally can do that. They run the house, they go to work, they look after the children, they look after the husband, they look after the in-laws. So we are capable of doing that. It's just that you have to realize your potential and use it. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Prioritize. And madam, you are so inspirational. We have actually witnessed your exemplary journey, work in Foxy, IAG, ISAR, MOX, Mumbai Obstetrics and Gynec Society, as a president, as a leader, basically. You are an Adi and fellow RCOG. And we all know that this journey is this leadership is a hard work and strong determination and fierce will of yours. We all know that. We have seen a true leader in you. I remember when John Maxwell saying, madam, he says, a leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And we have witnessed you giving opportunities and encouraging youngsters in our association. You are a leader in true sense.
Thank you.
But in society, madam, in our surroundings, we see such a dearth of women leaders. So few female leaders are there. In your opinion, what could be the cause of this?
Yeah, no, it's true. In fact, just today, there was this WhatsApp going around, you know, about which is the most powerful country, and, you know, the CEOs of all the leading organizations, whether it's, you know, whether it's Microsoft or Google or IBM or Twitter, everywhere there are Indians, you know, heading they are the CEOs, and everybody's feeling so proud. And I was looking at that and I said, where are the women? All of these are men. Yeah, and I actually Googled at that point to see who are the leading women CEOs. Like, I know that Indians are ruling the world as CEOs, but Indian women, even today, unfortunately, are not really at the top of the game. And when I looked up Indian or even women CEOs, I found, you know, very few, like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Sonia Sanal, who's CEO of Gap, or Chanel, you know, Lena Nair leads Chanel. So very few CEOs. And I thought to myself, that I realized that this is something I should have learned from my daughter. Like, my daughter she's a computer science engineer, lives in the US, and she got opportunities to work with Dropbox, with Google, but she said that she just doesn't want to be one small fry in a big organization. She wants to be the boss of the company. And the only way you can do that is if you start your own company. So she started her own company. And today she employs like many, many females and giving them an opportunity. And in fact, yesterday on Women's Day, she sent out a big thing on LinkedIn saying that, you know, any of the women who are wanting to come up, who need help in their own startups, because fortunately she heads a very successful startup. And this was her message on Women's Day, that any woman who needs help to start their own enterprise, to, you know, come up in their field, please feel free to reach out to me. And I want to do that. So this is what it's all about. You know, Mary Antoinette said many years ago, you know, people said to her in the French Revolution, your people are starving. You know, there's no bread for them to eat. And she said, if there's no bread, let them eat cake. So let's interpret it in our way, that if there are no jobs for you in a higher position, make your own business, make your own enterprise, become an entrepreneur. So I think women can do that, become leaders in your own way, and women have to help women. You have to give a hand to them to pull them up rather than to push them down. So I think if all of us realize that together we are strong, and by you becoming strong, I don't become any weaker. If we have that kind of an attitude, I think it will help. And I think in the field of gynecology, we are doing that. We are like, for example, I had this a conference called Youngistan. It was a conference by the young for the young,
Yes.
that sort of thing. And we gave an opportunity to all the youngsters in gynecology. They're mostly females as a majority. All these youngsters came together and they did such a fantastic event. So if we give opportunity, and if there is, the system we create whereby women can rise higher on the ladder, I think we can break that glass ceiling.
Actually, women helping women and women creating opportunities for other women. This is a fantastic message, ma'am. Ma'am, so well you have expressed this. Lastly, I want to ask you, ma'am, there is this huge discussion going on about women empowerment. We recently have celebrated International Women's Day with great fervor. But still in our society, we come across cases of domestic violence, sexual harassment of women at workplaces, gender bias and inequalities. In your opinion, ma'am, do you really think that the women of our country are empowered? What would you like to add to this question? It's persistent since decades, this question.
This word empowered is used too much, and I've actually become a little tired of hearing the word empowerment. So what does it mean to me? To me, I think it is if you have a choice and you have the freedom to make that choice and the freedom to live by the outcome of that choice in whatever field it may be. It could be education, it could be the job that you do, it could be your sexual preferences, it could be your life partner, choosing whom you want to marry, how you want to live your life. So if I have that choice, I can make that choice without, a lot of pressure from everyone. I can make the choice. And I deal with the consequences. I may be wrong. I may suffer the consequences. I may be right. I may make benefit. But if I have that, I think I'm a truly empowered woman. I think that really is what it's all about. So I think, if really we can, conduct our life on our terms, with support from our family, our friends, with respect, with love, if that we have, then we are truly empowered. So, to have to live by the decisions of others, to live by rules made by others, choices made for me by others, I don't think that's correct. I'm not what has happened to me. I am really what I choose to become. And I think that is true empowerment.
Absolutely fantastic, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was really wonderful talking with you. It was a great honor to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rashmi. Really appreciate the effort you've made. Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. It was so wonderful to have Dr. Reshma Pai and Dr. Rashmi, both of us, enthralling us with the story of life, which we would love to follow. And yes, we are fortunate to have such empathetic leaders, such leaders who you have, beautiful insights, which we can emulate. And yes, I would like to dedicate few lines to Dr. Reshma. Yes, in Hindi. मैं निर्मोही प्रेम की परिभाषा हूँ, मैं नवीन सृजन की अभिलाषा हूँ, मैं सबला सशक्त नारी हूँ, मैं जीवन की कर्तव्य निष्ठता हूँ, मैं ऊंच की प्रदीप्ति हूँ, मैं समरकंठ का सर्वदा विकल्प हूँ, मैं सशक्त हूँ, मैं सबला नारी हूँ, मैं सशक्त हूँ, मैं स्वर्णिम हूँ. And now I would request Dr. Nandita Palshetkar to kindly present the bouquet and few words from her too, so as to summarize and about the dialogue which we had, the story which we shared, and what she, her comments on the whole session. Dr. Nandita, please. Ma'am, you are there? Yes, ma'am. Please.
I'm there. I went to change clothes.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. I think, Surekha, it was wonderful the way all the messages came across, and such a unique idea I think it's wonderful that we women could share it with each other and gain inspiration. And it is really fantastic the way you've, given respect. I think it's all about respect eventually. I can see Dr. Kamal Bakshi also there. I'm sorry I didn't see that. Dr. Pankaj Desai, Maninder is there. It's very beautiful. And Pushpa Dai is also there. So, and Dr. Megh gave a wonderful speech after Dr. Amrita Fadnavis. She picks up the right things. I mean, I appreciate her wit. She is super witty and picks up the right points. So I think all of us here are winners. And it was a wonderful, wonderful program. Really, I think we should open the forum up and ask these wonderful ladies to talk.
Dr. Kamal Bakshi, ma'am, please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I would like to hear from Dr. Kamal Bakshi also what she thinks about this format of learning from stories. So what do you think, ma'am, your words? Yes, ma'am, we can see you. If you can open up your audio, you can unmute yourself.
Sorry, I'm lying down because
Okay,
I had a fall and hurt my spine. So, but what I would say is, it is such a fantastic, the way you have organized. I mean, each lady, I tell you, is wow. When I listen to Nandita, she's always full of happiness. So it is the happiness which keeps on glowing. And today, Rishma, I always thought she's another great woman, Look at the way she looks after her husband, her family, the beautiful story of her daughter, that every lady can be on the top. If you don't get a choice, make your own. So since your program has very little time, I would say 3 cheers, hip hip hooray, to all of you youngsters. Stay young forever, heart, mind, and soul. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Inspiration.
Thank you very much, and all the 3 stars, and wonderful Dr. Nandita for having you here with us. And we feel so honored, and we will really preserve this recording, which will keep on inspiring us again and again, day in and day out. So thank you so much, and I hand over to Dr. Rashmi for conducting the next session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Surekha madam. And let us move towards our next session. I would like to call my friend Dr. Shalaka Bari. Shalaka, if you are there. Shalaka.
I cannot see you, so Rashmi, please go ahead.
Yeah. Madam, just give me 1 minute. I just wanted to check if Dr. Pardeshi sir has joined because he was busy in something. Just give me
Dr.
1 minute.
Pardeshi sir, I have received a message that he is busy in an emergency cesarean or some operative procedure. And so we can ask Dr. Megh madam with her permission to kindly chair this session.
Yes. I'm there.
Yes. Dr. Archana is also in some meeting. I talked with her. I'll still call her, but we can go ahead and we can start, and I'll ask Dr. Archana.
I just wanted to know if Dr. Shalaka is there. Dr. Shalaka, are you there?
You can go ahead. No? Go ahead.
Yes.
Please move to our third session, and the speaker for this session is none other than respected Dr. Pankaj Desai sir, and he will talk on the 3 questions. The respected chairpersons for this session are Dr. Rajendra Singh Pardeshi, Dr. Archana Verma madam, and Dr. Girish Mane. And I would like to invite Dr. Megh madam to kindly chair the session. Next, please. Yeah. Let me introduce our chairpersons. Dr. Rajendra Singh Pardeshi sir, he is the Vice President AMOX, and to his credit are many papers presented in the national conferences and 6 times Best Paper Awardee in Fox's AICOG conference. He is the chairperson of Food and Drug Committee Foxy. He has been chairperson of Food and Drug Committee Foxy 2012-13 and has been awarded with Dr. Hansutia Best Committee Award of Fact Foxy. He also has been the Vice President Foxy 2019-20. I welcome you, sir. Next slide, please. Dr. Archana Verma, madam. She is Vice President Foxy and she's associate member of RCOG. She's the founder president of West UP chapter and organizing chairperson of UPCOG 2020. I welcome you, madam. The next chairperson for this session is none other than Dr. Girish Mane, who is the chairperson of Adolescent Health Committee, FOXI, 2019-21. He has been past president of Yavatmal OBGY Society, past chairperson Adolescent Gynecological Committee amongst 2018-20. He's been awarded with Best Chairperson amongst 2018-20. He is a recipient of FOXI Smriti Milan Sir Baby Girl Runner-Up Award and recipient of Best Society Award amongst from amongst. He has also received Dr. Durushai Youth Trophy and Dr. Sadhana Desai Award in 2017. I will welcome you, sir. Welcome, sir. I would also like to welcome our nearest and dearest and our own, very own Dr. Mandakini Meg, madam. Actually, she needs no introduction. She is so close to heart for all of us. She is from our own Vidarbha, and madam is, and she has been chairperson ICOG. I have learned her, I know her CV by heart. So without even looking at the screen, I can say about her. She is the Vice President of International Women's Association now, and she was the first person to be appointed by Government of Maharashtra for her excellent service, and she's known for her excellent services in family welfare and contraception.
Okay.
I welcome you, ma'am.
Yeah. So should I start?
Can you share Dr. Pankaj Desai CV for Meg ma'am to please introduce our star speaker?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. After such a star-studded performances, unique concept, Surekha, heads up to you. Thank you very much for inviting me to such a prestigious and unique program with so many distinguished speakers. And today we have none other than Dr. Pankaj Desai, excellent teacher of teachers, I can say. A very kind and generous human being. I know him as a person since last 40 years. We are friends. And whenever I meet him, he came to our MOX, he was there. And I meet him at many scientific, programs. But I must admire the way he, studies, he keeps on researching. And every time I hear him, I get so inspired. So it's a privilege for me, Pankaj, that I am introducing you. He was the president of FOXI. I remember his, tenure. And at the present, he is a consultant OBGY at Janni Maternity Hospital. Many positions were held. Dean of Students of Medical College of Baroda, then associate professor and in the SSG hospitals. He is a gold medalist awardee in OBGY, 7 gold medals. International national awards, Young Gynecological Award, Most Outstanding Young Gynecologist, then Tamaskar National Award, International Fellowship Award, Indian College, which I relate to as a previous chairperson, Best Publication Prizes, also the international national recognition, many of them. To tell you the few, the visiting professorship of the Liverpool Hospital in Sydney, and also appeared to many prestigious journals. You can see here, so many journals are there. And most prestigious from our point of view is also President FOXI, which I have already mentioned. He has delivered 60 orations. It's quite incredible. And also guest lectures, moderator, research papers, books authored are 13, and so many credential to his biodata. It's a great pleasure, Dr. Pankaj Desai, to hear you and present to you with this in this scientific program. Surekha, what is the topic of Dr. Pankaj Desai?
It's an enigmatic topic. Even we don't know what is the content, and the title is The 3 Questions. Sir, we are eager to hear you. All ears. Thank you so much.
Can I share the screen, please?
Yes, sir. Please. Yes, sir. The screen is visible and the floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
No words to thank you. In case my, before I start, in case my connection snaps, which usually doesn't, in last 2 years. Give me some time. I already have another parallel connection also going on, and I will immediately switch over to that. Just inform me that I will come to know it as snap, but just wait for me. You are all obstetricians and therefore very patient people. We'll start with a prayer as usual, which has been my routine for now decades together. Oneness of life and light, and trusting in your great compassion, may you shed the foolishness in myself, transforming me into a conduit of love. Honorable Chairperson, none other than so much kind, and I wonder, आपने कभी किसी का दिल में बुरा चाहा है जिंदगी में? आपके मुंह पर तो नहीं लगता. That angelic face I have always felt. I know lots of self-praising is going on, mutual praising is occurs in conferences, but no, this is genuine, and you know it. I appreciate genuinely. I don't flatter anybody in my whole life, but really honored to have you here, and really honored by the office bearers of Vidarbha Isobar. And Dr. Kamal Bakshi had chaired the previous session, which is a big honor for me because she is my teacher. And she changed my life during my experience in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Thank you very much, all of you, Dr. Surekha and Dr. Kahar and all of you. I mean it. Thank you. The recording of this lecture will be shortly available on YouTube channel. Within a week or so, and I will inform you also. And the text of this lecture will be available on my website in my recent lectures section. You will not be able to ask me questions with full justice because it's a little complex topic. Nothing big talks. No, I am taking you inside. I am taking you within you. To make your life more full, and so you take your time to process it, and then this is my email ID here, and you can email me and I will 100% reply. I get around 50 to 60 emails only on these type of questions, and I reply all of them, though not immediately, at least by the end of week. Currently 6 are waiting to be replied. It's an unconventional lecture. I know, Dr. Rashmi told me, sir, what are you going to say in this? I said, let it evolve, like a potter's wheel. When it moves, you don't know, it's clay, and it turns. Even I don't know. But one thing is for sure, that I am not going to tell any of my wise things, which I also have many I can share with. We had brilliant people before us who shared their experiences and have enriched our lives. And as somebody said, I'm going to preserve this, somebody's lecture for all throughout life, rightly so, that interview, rightly so. But this is not anything which you can preserve or you need to preserve. You know it, and I'm just opening up the light for you. What are we here basically for? We are basically here in pursuit of health and happiness. Very clear. The happiness may be coming from mundane things, from unmundane things, whatever it is. But basically, we are here for health and happiness. And there are 3 questions. That is my topic. The 3 questions which I am going to share with you have been shared by and have been filtered down from some of the huge, gigantic philosophers of life. It is not mine. But yes, I have been practicing them and have helped me. And just sharing with you. Nothing to do with any big philosophy of myself. They are life changers. Many have said that they are life changers for them, and we'll be sharing these life changer questions with you. What are these 3 powerful questions that can change your life? The first question is, what is the haste? And as we say in Marathi, काय घाया है रे? Very simple question. All of these are very simple questions, but they can change your life. And for people like Maninder who are here, I am keeping it in English. but I know that this is in Marathi land, and therefore I have brought these words. Marathi, Maninder, your lecture in the next week is completely English. Don't worry. I'm not going to switch into Punjabi. The next question is, does it matter right now? It's a very powerful question. Atta kai farak padta ka? Very important question. Ask yourself. Don't speak loudly, ask yourself. And the third question is, what is my skin in the game? This is a phrase which means mala kai. In Mumbai, many people tell this, mala kai, but not in that detached or dejected state. No, not in out of arrogance, but mala kai. And these things I'll cover in next 20 minutes to follow and finish it up, because I have been told I've been given 20 minutes and I'll finish in 20 minutes. What is the haste? Kai gaya hai. We make unnecessary haste to do something or reach somewhere. Even in small things we make haste. Surgeries also we make haste unnecessarily to kya kisko dikhana hai. Instead, speed should not be our goal. It should be our achievement. Jaldi kya hai? And those who are having this auto hypnosis, jaldi kya hai, are some of the finest surgeons. Most meticulous. The more meticulous you are, the more beautiful your surgery. Mark my words. And more precise your surgery. We generate stress and do not let our potentials come out in full by making haste to go somewhere or reach somewhere. At this moment, this devil of haste is killing us. So please don't make haste. Unnecessary haste is not necessary. The key is to be here and now. Are you really here and now? Ask yourself. Where is your mind moving? Ask yourself. Are you really here and now? By here and now is an excellent combination of 4, 5 or 6 letters, 7 letters. Nowhere else is here and now. Try it. Are you really here and now? Tumi ithe aahe ka? Most of the times we are on autopilot mode. Most of the times our mind just drools. Being here and now is a very powerful state within you. You need not change the world. You change yourself and the world changes. It is a powerful question to bring you peace and improve your work, whatever you are doing. Mark my words. Ghai kaya hai. That doesn't make you lazy, please. Applying brakes doesn't make you lazy. This simple looking question slows you down to the right speed. And at critical instances, it breaks your speed when it's not necessary to hasten. You will see its effects everywhere, right from your handwriting, to your cooking, to your surgery, to your lecture. Right now, because I was told it will be over by 5, my appointments are going to start at 6. But no problem. I rang up my secretary and told her, some of you might be knowing, I live in the same complex, ground floor, first floor is the hospital, second floor I live. I rang up my secretary and said, Gai naka karu, me yenar. By time hour yenar. What is the haste? For once, apply brakes. बहुत भागा दौड़ी कर ली गालिब, बहुत भागा दौड़ी कर ली गालिब, वरना जाना तो था सिर्फ घर से कब्र तक. किस लिए इतना भाग रहे हैं आप? कहां जाना है हमें? The next question. This attacks the second very big impediment of ours, and that is fear. Fear is an evolutionary need. You being fearful is what you have gone programmed within you for millions of years. You cannot go away from it. Homo sapiens have it. Do you know? And I was told this when I went to South Africa on a vacation. The penguins were moving in and out of our feet, between our feet. And we were told that be careful, you may crush the penguins. Why? Because the penguins are not programmed to be afraid of you. Therefore, they don't know that this creature has to be afraid of. So they will go to the house, they nest there. Not like those pigeons who nest on our sill. They come to your room and nest. And therefore they continuously have to keep their house closed. So fear for you is a survival instinct. But we extend it too far. I am also fearful. I have encountered fear in one very bad state. And then I fought back and I am liberated. Fear happens to me as well. But this question helped me. Does it matter right now? Atta kai farak padtoy ka? Does it matter right now? The question is very powerful. Fear is an innate instinct. We need to handle it. You cannot eliminate it. You have to handle it. See our approach. Such photographs we see so many times and we feel horrified. But do you know, I'll give you an example of only 1 year. In 2016, total 40 million commercial passenger flights, not 40 million passengers, 40 million commercial flights landed safely at their destination. You multiply this by 300 to 400. These were the number of passengers which landed. But that picture is continuously haunting you. Only 10 ended in a fatal accident, which brings the incidence to 0.00025%. Still these 0.00025% are dancing on our head. If just before Corona I had gone to deliver the annual oration somewhere abroad, and while we were returning quite close to India, we hit a storm. And the flight was moving up and down, dancing. We were doing disco. And everyone was so afraid. Some but finding out, taking out malas and started doing so many things. And I was very peaceful. Was I afraid? No. No. Because the pilot had not announced a maiden. At that moment, I was enjoying the flight. I have never encountered such jumping in a flight. I wanted to, and I was enjoying because the pilot had not announced. At that moment, it did not make a difference to me. Research has shown that more than 90% of our fears arise from some event of the past that we extrapolate. Oh, aisa ho gaya tha, aisa ho gaya tha. 0.0000025% मर गए थे. अरे पर वो जो बच गए 99 point so many percent, उनका सोचो अभी क्या है उसका event of the past. Some events that may occur in future, but most likely doesn't occur. A very big philosopher has said that 99% of your guesswork doesn't occur. We are continuously swinging between the past and the future. Just ask yourself when you are swinging and you feel fearful. अभी क्या है उसका? कुछ नहीं है, तो फिर क्यों डरते हैं? तो फिर क्यों डरता हूं मैं? Come back. The question, how does it matter at this moment, is very alleviating. Immediately brings you to here and now, once again bringing those words here and now, and the fear evaporates. You cannot eliminate fear. Fear is programmed into you. Your morose reflex is a fear, is a sign that you are fearful by reflex. So, but this question, atta kai farak padte ka teja? Nahi mama kahe? Don't be afraid yaar. Chalega, chalo. Sir, वो मर जाएगी तो अभी मरी क्या? हम लोग try करते हैं ना. Most of the times, I have not seen a mortality. Most of the times. Thousands and thousands of deliveries I might have had. The third question and the last question, because I have been given 20 minutes, I have used a 14.33. I will finish in the next 6 minutes. The third question. It is a phrase. It's an English phrase. I have learned this phrase around 2 years before. Before that, though, I love good English literature. I was not knowing much. My children gave me the exact meaning of this. What is your skin in the game? तुम्हाला काय, तुमच्या काय आहे का त्याच्यात? नाही ना? Then why are you getting involved in it? In Bombay, they do it very refractorily. Nothing against, it's a beautiful city. I love it. In my next life, I have to settle. I may settle in Mumbai. We had two wonderful people ahead of us speaking, being interviewed from Mumbai. No, Mumbai is a wonderful city. But some people in Mumbai I have met are like this. Malakai. In a way, they are philosophers. They are great people. So many problems we create for ourselves by getting involved in things that are not of our concern. Nobody has asked our opinion or involvement in it. Still, we are determined to lose our peace and get involved. What should Ukraine do? How should Russia respond? Okay, what should be the budget? What should be the allocation for industrial sector and finance? And so much debate on WhatsApp. So much debate. People become enemies of their finest friends. A brilliant girl in my class, second in Gujarat, in my class, practicing in the state, did pediatrics, gets so much angry when political discussion takes place because she doesn't like BJP. It's fine. And there are people who like BJP and therefore they fight with her. For what? None of them are even primary members of any of those parties. और इतने beautiful angel के साथ झगड़ा करते हैं. Last week I was in Surat for a lecture and I specifically went to her house to make her feel that no, all is not well or all is not bad. You still have your friends because friends matter to me. Where I am not involved, I am not concerned. And this disturbs you in your meditation. When you sit down for meditation, this disturbs you most. Just check your thoughts. Where are they going on autopilot mode? They are usually going in areas which are not of your concern. So don't get involved in this. If you want to evolve, we have all told about women empowerment and all, excellent. We got excellent tips. But our involvement, my involvement, chali ja rahi hai zindagi, usko bhara bhara bana dena hai. And I am enjoying such a life. I'm honestly, I will not give you the details. It is bragging. But I am enjoying such a life. I don't get involved in useless things. Foxy में ये vice president में खड़ा रहता है, ये president में खड़ा, तू खड़ा रहने वाला है क्या? नहीं, तू voter है ना, ये button दबा देना ना. In so much discussion takes place in these foxy groups. So much for what? This is just one example. So many, you see yourself. You'll find countless such examples. It helps no one. Nor is any goodness involved. Some goodness is involved. If somebody is to be helped, then yes, we understand that even if you are not directly involved, a renal failure patient whom you are, I am aware of a WhatsApp group who is helping. If her dialysis solutions have become costly, and there are anonymous helpers from that WhatsApp group of gynecologists, they will debate. They are not themselves involved, but they debate. That is understandable. How much we should increase, what we should do, we understand. And those who are not in that list also of the 12 people every month, they also discuss. Fine. No goodness is involved. You are not helping anybody. For every involvement, ask before, what is my skin in this game? Kuch nahi hai, chalo bye bye, chalta hu main. Lesser the involvement, better the results and happiness. Basically, happiness is like this. Don't let it escape from your hand. It is there. Has rahi hai aap par. Uthao usko. And I have translated this for you. This is the last 2 slides. There is a mantra. And that mantra, I have translated from beautiful words of a very famous Gujarati poet and a writer, Chandrakant Bakshi. And I have translated it for you. If my mind can remain calm even in trying situations, if I can laugh heartily and sleep soundly. When these previous sessions were going on, I didn't know my number. I should have seen the flyer, but I found that I was too early. You see the cot behind. I am actually sitting in my, I am sitting in my study. This is my study. And I have kept a cot here. The reason is, When I get tired, I sleep here. When those sessions were going on, when I was quite late, my wife came and peeped in. You're not speaking? I said, still time. Go to sleep. And I went off to sleep for 20 minutes. It was a power sleep. If you can laugh heartily and sleep soundly, if I can feel hunger, if I can feel thirst, and if I can get tired, if I don't have any big disease or any debt on my head, if I have one house, bahut ho gaya yaar, under the roof of which I can sit with my family and have my meals. I am about to have my meal. I have my dinner at around 6 o'clock, and I know my daughter is going to call me soon. If I can pass my Sunday evenings with my personal friends with happiness and cheerfulness, every Sunday we do, then thank you, God. You have given me much more than I deserve. I didn't deserve this much. You have given me much more. Choti si aasa, chote chote rang bhare sapne. And if this lasts till the last day of my life, then I will say, oh, what a fun it was. Maza ali re, kai mast jindagi geli. Ani janar tumchi pan. Only 3 questions can change you. And you know the questions now. This lecture will come on my YouTube channel and I will inform you. So friends, leave the old way by the side. Make your life full. Within. And the happiness which you will get, nobody else will know. But your mind, your face will spontaneously keep smiling. Why am I smiling right now? You are not clapping. Nobody is appreciating me. Nobody koi meri prasansa nahi kar raha. Fir bhi kyun ye smile aa jati hai? That will come to you. That is happiness. These are life-changer questions which great philosophers have done. I have taken 2.5 minutes more and I'll finish it. Great philosophers, I have nectared them down for you people. 3 simple questions, very simple. This will make you a happy new you. And this is a small message which I have converted into a 5 seconds video. Enjoy it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Vidarbha, for this wonderful honor which you have done. God bless you. God bless
Sir, standing ovation from all of us. We are going to, clap for.
I will stand.
Yes, definitely we are going to stand.
Definitely.
And really wonderful. And I'm awestruck. No words to say. I hand over to Dr. Meg, ma'am.
Dr. Pankaj Desai, we are mesmerized. And you have given such a food for thought how we should deal with our life. First and foremost thing which you have said is, what is the hurry? What is the really at this stage of life? And especially after Corona, I think that is the biggest challenge or question which you have thrown at us. What is the life? Here I will like to give one example of a very, very senior person. Dr. Usha Saraya madam said, whenever I meet Dr. Shirish Seth in any of the corridors, Bridge Candy or anybody, they keep on meeting. So what importantly that strike is that he is so cool and all the time will say, okay, so Usha, what is this? And he is not in hurry. Even there must be something. She said that one thing to be learned from the legends is that even there is a patient, but they will not show you that I am in a hurry. And suppose we contact any junior, hey madam, bahut jaldi hai, nahi madam, ye bahut jaldi. Juniors are always in hurry, or they do not see that perspective which you have shown us, that stand and stare, look within, examine yourself, where is the hurry? So that is very, very important, I must say. And second thing which you said is affected me also, is it making a difference? Of course. Suppose we are simply hurrying for something unimportant, but If it is very important, of course we are going, whatever dress we are going to do the rupture uterus or anything, we are going to do the surgery. But suppose it is not making that difference, so don't hurry up. And is it going to make any difference? If it is not going to remain, so we remain cool and everything. So that is a very big philosophy you have touched upon at the right time. I am at the time of molding. I am reading a lot of philosophical books and also interviewing many people, senior people, obstetrician. And this philosophy is the epitome of, or I can say the three things are concentration in a very focused manner, which you have given to us. So I think I have said what I want to say. If anybody has gone.
Thank you. And I think Dr. Ambuja has logged in very early just to listen to Dr. Pankaj Desai, sir. And I would like Dr. Ambuja to speak something.
Yes.
माझी ताई इथे बसलेली आहे. पुष्पाताई, नमस्कार. दोन ताई आहे माझी.
Yes.
मंदाकिनी ताई आणि पुष्पाताई.
Namaskar. Ambuja ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Except telling namaste and wow. What can I tell about Pankaj Desai? It's not the first time. And since about 30 years, I am listening to him. Even today, if I hear something, I will learn something new. And today, fantastic. So many new things, not one. Oh, that's what is Pankaj Desai. Really, hats off to you. Namaste to you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think, again, I must say that this recording is one of those which I would preserve and listen to again and again. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for the efforts which you have taken, to create this content. I know that you have created it for us, for Vidarbha Isupar, yes, for our invitation. Yes, we know you have spent time on designing the whole thing, and for that we are really grateful to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Surekha madam, I want to say that it's a great honor for us that for the first time this lecture is bound to go. And for the first time, sir has prepared it for Vidarbha Isupar webinar. So great pranam and respect, sir.
Thank you
very much.
Rashmi, thank you so much, sir. And we would like to get ahead with the session.
Surekha,
for each and every lecture.
Thank you very
much.
Right,
sir.
Surekha, for each and every lecture, he does it with the same concentration, whether it is a preterm labor or postterm delivery, or if it is a thing like that, the same concentration, same message, same things he will insist and say, take home messages. I mean, so many are there, you cannot count. That's
so much passion, madam, so much passion. I think we learn from you every day, every moment. By just looking at you, we learn. Thank you so much, sir.
If you permit me, can I leave? My family is waiting for dinner now.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We don't want to keep you from your food. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Rashmi, please go ahead for the debate.
So let us move towards a very interesting session, and it is debate HRT for all women in menopause. Whom do you agree with? And the respected judges for this session are Dr. Ambuja Choranu madam and Dr. Mandakini Megh madam. I would like to introduce our judges to the house. Next slide, please. Professor Ambuja Choranu madam, she is the president of Indian Menopause Society and has been research committee chairperson SAFOMS 2021 to 2023. She's a retired professor and HOD, Institute of OBGYN, Usmania Medical College, Hyderabad, and a visiting professor, Savita University, Chennai from 2019 on.
Yeah, Rashmi, speakers ko introduce karo na. Mujhe kya hai hoga.
Okay.
Commentator. Thank you.
Next slide, please. Next slide, please. The next judge is Dr. Mandakini Megh madam.
I already introduced me.
Okay, madam. Next, please.
Madam, just want to say that the person of your stature being here with us, we feel honored. Both of you, the duo being here together with us. Thank you so much.
It's an honor, Surekha, to be here. And you called, we are Ji Huzur ready. Thank you very much for the Vidarbha Isupar, really, for giving this opportunity.
Madam, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. मेघ मैडम, एक छोटी सी स्टोरी है, एक लड़की है, ब्यूटीफुल एंड एकेडमिशियन, फिटनेस की क्रेजी है, कल्चरल इवेंट्स की एक्सपर्ट है। आप सुन रहे हैं ना मेघ मैडम? सोशल एक्टिविस्ट भी है,
मैंने पहचान लिया,
रिफॉर्मर भी है।
मैंने पहचान लिया कौन है।
और सब कहते हैं कि वो फॉक्सी की मधुबाला है। नाम तो आपने सुना ही होगा। It's my honor to welcome Dr. Maninder Ahuja madam to this debate session. And Ambuja madam,
yeah.
Ambuja madam, I also have a small story for you, ma'am. Another story.
Okay.
एक लड़की है, quick and smart and academician, determination की crazy है, म्यूजिक एंड सिंगिंग की एक्सपर्ट है, सुना है कॉलेज में डिसिप्लिन की बहुत पक्की है। नाम तो आपने सुना ही होगा। I welcome Dr. Surekha Tade to this debate session. And let me formally introduce our debaters. Let me formally introduce our debaters. पहले की slide, Abhishek, please.
Nako, Rashmi. Let Dr. Ambuja introduce the theme.
Okay.
Thank you very much. A legend like Maninder. I am so happy to introduce her now. She's a close friend of mine since years. And फिदा बन गए मनिंदर, आपका डांस देख के, आपका लेक्चर्स देख के, आपका the way you behave, no, फिदा बन गए आपके वास्ते. Not much to tell about her academic.
You can stop share.
She is president of so many things. One, she is a past president of IMS, and again past president of SLML. So she has got, for her credit, so many papers, and she is going to be the editor of the Journal of Midlife Health. The next she is going to take over, and now she will speak about the MHT that shows what is Maninder now. So this is to Maninder.
Thank you to my chairpersons and Dr. Surekha and all the dignitaries who are here, and I'm overwhelmed, and it was a wonderful session. Now, because we are short of time, and I think in debate we are just given 7 minutes. So when I finish my 6 minutes, please tell me so that I don't overshoot time at least. So
please make it full screen, Dr. Maninder.
Okay. Yes. So debate is on MHT, yes or no? So who is she? She's a work of art. And let's keep her like that midlife woman. And what interferes with her life? There are 1.2 billion menopausal women in the world by 2030, and added every year are 47 million new entrants each year. So look at their problems. More than 80% suffer from heart failure that makes their life horrible. Quality of life issues and night sweats lead on to related to coronary artery disease. 1 in 3 would have lifetime risk of fragility fractures that interferes with their not only quality of life also, but leads on to morbidity and mortality also. Sexuality problem, 63%, going up to 85%. Add to the sleep problem, 40 to 56%. Compared to them, the premature ovarian insufficiency cases, which are there iatrogenic or natural, and they are playing havoc with her life. And then the cancer survivors. So what all these women, they need menopause hormone therapy that has been proved, and they do respond to menopause hormone therapy. So why can't we give it to them? So there must be some problem why we can't give it to them, because it was being used as an elixir before 1997. Suddenly then her study came and the uses dropped, and then came our great study of WHI. Now, what was wrong with the WHI? It was a wrongly designed multi-billion-dollar study and wrongly interpreted. Results were given to the media immediately, and they interpreted it wrongly again. So the EPT arm was stopped in 2002, and then the estrogen arm also stopped in the 2004. What was the problem? Nothing was the problem. Interpretation was wrong. You don't look at the relative risk. You look at the absolute risk which the incidences are there. So heart attacks, breast cancer, strokes, they were just less than 10 per 10,000 women. So that is a rare incidence, very rare incidence. And if it's more than 10 per 10,000 women, then it's a rare one. So strokes, breast cancer were very rare. DVT was rare only. Hip fractures, colon cancer, they were decreased. Dementia was increased only because these women were given HRT at that time at a very, very later stage. So at that time, it does cause dementia. So what was the wrong? Age was wrong. They were already more than 60 years of age where we are not giving. They were all white where we have to look at the menopausal women from a heterogeneous population of different races, different age groups, different weights, different presentation of each menopausal woman is there. And they were never hormone users. They were just one dose of estrogen CE 0.6 to 5 milligram. One is progesterone MPA, and more of the 40-60% more were there on the hypertensive drugs already, and those experiencing symptoms of menopause were excluded from the study. So if we have to prevent something, we have to start early. If the disease is already there, then it's a therapeutic option. So menopause hormone therapy is not a therapeutic option, it's a preventive option. So WHO controversies were there that reanalysis when done 10 years after menopause was associated with fewer risk and reduction of cardiovascular event when it was given in the younger women. So that was there. So all these studies which are being quoted as being negative for the menopause hormone therapy, breast cancer, or coronary vascular disease, especially DVT, they don't have the proper design because all of them are beyond 65 years of women when we are not giving menopause hormone therapy. So when bone-centric global index was seen and when all fractures were added in the risk factors, so then risk analysis was done and there were advantages of even estrogen progesterone therapy and even estrogen alone because these fractures are causing a lots of mortality and morbidity in these women. Comparison of WHO nurses studies, again, WHI had more smokers, body mass index was more, mean age was more. So that was the problem. Blessing in disguise, this study, yes, because more studies came up, we started looking up into the menopausal women from a new angle and new trials came where KEEPS trial, DOPS and ELITE trial. And what did they test? Early versus late onset of menopause hormone therapy. Change of salts. If you give the transdermal route, is it better? Yes, CVD incidences were not there. If you change the progesterone, yes, they were changed to micronized progesterone and DVT was there, less than there. So these were the main problems of the menopause hormone therapy. Then the liver effect, if give estradiol hemihydrate, that bypasses liver. So we are now having new salts, new hormones, and new basket of drugs in the our basket of drugs which is available now there. So age of menopause hormone therapy, window of opportunity. Let's look into these factors which have to be analyzed: doses of hormones, routes of administration, type of estrogen, type of progesterone, route of progesterone, how long to give. So this paved view for new thought process. So this is a window of opportunity. In early years, endogenous estrogens, they are protecting a woman's cardiovascular system. And if we start it early, we'll be protecting it again. We'll be reducing the LDL, we'll be increasing HDL, reducing cholesterol, and reducing triglyceride. But if we give it late, when the plaque is formed, then it's going to be harmful. So that is why we cannot start in the late years. We have to give in window of opportunity, which is within 10 years of menopause, or before 60 years of age. So these are the drugs which are now available. Estrogens available now as transdermal patches, vaginal rings, vaginal pessaries, vaginal ovules are there. Then micronized progesterone, dydrogesterone, levonorgestrel, IUD. SERMs are there which can replace the progesterone in like risk for the breast cancer or the increased osteoporosis risk is there. Tibolone is there. So tusks with the benzodiazepine combination, and androgens are there. when the hypoactive sexual disorder is there. So we have a plethora of drugs, so we can prescribe them. So this is the Easter study which proved when we don't give oral estrogen, we give transdermal estrogen and maternal progesterone or the dihydrogesterone, then the thromboembolism incidence is decreased. So this is how the thromboembolism incidence has decreased. Same way, if we give low doses of estrogens and progesterone, even then they are effective in hot flushes and even in reducing the spine BMD, increasing the spine BMD also. So low dose is important. Transdermal routes are there. We have changed the estrogens, we have changed the progesterone, and of course the various studies have shown that for hot flushes, estrogens are the best and we should utilize them. Same way, reduce all types of fractures, whether clinical vertebral fracture, non-vertebral fracture, hip fracture. So now if the patient is at risk, even for this indication, we can give them. If the route of administration, the obesity is there, if BMI is less than, then oral estrogens do increase again the chances. But if the patient is very, very obese, the patient is going to have DVT because of obesity itself. And look at this very beautiful slide where you have 23 cases of breast cancer diagnosed in the UK, and menopause hormone therapy just increases 4 cases. 4 fewer cases with the estrogen only menopause hormone therapy, and obesity itself causes 23 cases. So that is the extent of obesity. Alcohol increases 5 cases. Then contraceptives, they also increase 4 cases, and smokers, they. But if we are exercising, that will reduce 7 cases out of these 23 cases. So breast cancer is, it does not increase for 5 years, even with the combined menopause hormone therapy, and estrogens only therapy reduce it a lot. So then what can you do in these cases? Supposing if you have to give for 5 years, then you can switch on to bezodoxine and estrogen combination, because that is going to reduce the risk of cancer. So, and WHO arm also, estrogen arm also showed that for up to 7 years, there was no increased risk of breast cancer. So that is how long the patients are going to take. And some, this is, I have already talked about. This is
I think Mani there, you try to finish quickly.
1 minute. Okay. So this is the pendulum of MST has now shifted. So DOT, KEEPS and ELITE trials have given that we can indicate it for the treatment of hot flushes, mood disturbances, and for the prevention of osteoporosis. This is how we give. All these drugs are available. Now, very important topic is in the cancers, MST is now being recommended because they say once you have increased their life, then by premature ovarian failure, don't decrease their life and give them this MST. The only thing where it cannot be given is endometrial uterine sarcoma, endometrioid, or low-grade serous ovarian cancers. So cervical cancer, if it's adenocarcinoma, we don't give otherwise. So doing their overall mortality in cancer, reducing, that is very important. Active endometrial gynecological cancers and active gallbladder disease, we don't give, otherwise we can give. We have these risk assessment tools available with us. We can assess each and every patient coming to us with these risk assessment tools and then give them their individualized designer treatment. But these women do need menopause hormone therapy. Please help them in one way or the other. Thank you very much.
Well said, Maninder. Elaborate presentation what you said in 7 minutes. Very good. Now we'll ask the counterpart by the Surekha Tayeba what she is going to tell.
So is Can we put slide of Surekha, madam?
No, there is no need. I'm just trying to find out my. Okay.
We are seeing you, Surekha, since 2 hours, and we know what you are, what capacity of organizing the things, and what capacity of pulling the people, correct people. Oh, it is hats off to you. You did a wonderful job, and that's what is Surekha.
Thank you, ma'am. I don't know what I'm sharing.
It's a blank paper, ma'am.
Just a minute. And
Mandakini, you want to comment anything about Surekha?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to tell so many things. Not in one word is possible. So Surekha, very vivacious, very elegant, and teacher of teachers, because she's a hardcore teacher, and she was a main core person in my ICOG programs, Dr. Ambuja, and she conducted so many programs for the ICOG, and I think from that time I have known her as a very meticulous and very I can say go for the detailing, and she has got a different charisma where she can pull in the people, and a great singer. So that whole personality becomes a.
She had to sing for me in the AICOG. So her time has not started, I can say. Dr. Meg and Dr.
Mandakini, she is working with you in ASCOG means we know that she is perfect to the core. Otherwise, Mandakini will not leave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much for those kind words. And
it was a challenge being against her.
Surekha is going to talk against why the HRT is for the all women. Against
so the topic, thank you so much, ma'am, and for those kind words. And the topic is HRT for all women. So let us, pinpoint that one word, all women in menopause. So are we talking about HRT for all women? My friend, Dr. Maninda Ahuja, in her own whole presentation has, I think, spoken from my side, because whatever she has presented, is in such a way that HRT is not for all women. There are some indications for which I agree with that, but my talk is HRT for all women in menopause. I am against the motion. I present greetings from my medical college, which is Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College. Yes, Dr. Maninder, menopause is a physiological process. However, as you have said, estrogen deficiency does exist. There are menopausal symptoms like anxiety, depression, headache, fatigue, hot flushes, others, sleep problems, mood swings. And you have also been told time and again, literature has said there is increased risk of cardiovascular problems, stroke, osteoporosis, fractures, cognition disabilities, depression, so on and so on. And this all has been labeled as hormone deficiency syndrome. And years back in 1960s itself, FDA approved Marin. And yes, after that, feminist movement came in 1960, and that book came, Feminine Forever, which claimed that menopause is a hormone deficiency disease. It is curable. It is totally preventable. And HRT was presented as a therapy at that time to allow women to free themselves from malediction of estrogen loss and conserve their femininity. In 1970s, Zeelettel observed a probable connection between this estrogen and development of endometrial cancer. The dose of estrogen was, however, reduced. It was combined with progesterone, and HRT was prescribed again in intact uterus along with progesterone. FDA initially approved HRT only for treatment of hot flashes and later on for prevention also. So now osteoporosis was included in 1988. So numerous observational studies, started harping on the benefits of treatment of HRT for menopausal symptoms, but also in prevention of diseases. Feminine Forever became another tagline, healthy forever. Industry interest came into it, and they tried to couch arguments for HRT in terms of chronic disease risk reduction. Debates about production, prescription, marketing, regulation, everything came, and they claimed that the benefits were more. And of course came the women advocates. They also started HRT underscored the political clout of pharmaceutical industry. There, the manipulation of consumer fears, and that was converted into a choice, and it was considered to be curative tool of risk management. So, it was presented in the market that all the women started using HRT. So the tagline is all women, prescribed for prevention of disease. And of course, when the HRT market decline. Because why? Because now you came another study, and that study, there was another study which was brought in, that is your HER study, as Dr. Maninder has already said. This HER study included 2,736 postmenopausal women with established coronary heart disease, and there was a randomization, and HRT versus placebo. This study found in 4 years of follow-up that there is no difference. In fact, in the HRT group, there was increase of coronary events. And as rightly said by Dr. Maninder, there came in this Women's Health Initiative study in 1998, wherein there were so many participants, included in this study, and 16,600 participants were randomized in, these two groups were there, wherein the CEE and progesterone with uterus and without uterus. And what it was found out in group intact uterus, that there was increased incidence of coronary heart disease and breast cancer, and reduction of osteoporotic fractures and colorectal cancer. So how they found out in these studies that for increased risk of coronary artery disease, breast cancer, stroke, even pulmonary embolism, and as well as total cardiovascular risk increased. So absolute excess risk was seen. 10,000 per year users was attributable to the estrogen component. So there were more cardiovascular event, more stroke, more pulmonary embolisms, and 8 more invasive breast cancers. However, now, as you can see in this women health study, you found that there was, the risk of endometrial cancers increased with estrogen, ovarian risk also at higher with estrogen, and breast cancer increased with estrogen and progesterone both. So now this trial was stopped, HRT was stopped, and but rightly said by Maninder, that there was no age stratification in this study. Older women were included, and hence there was conflicting evidence between the women health study and previous observational study. So now, in a nutshell, we find that this hormonal replacement therapy had more risk and less benefits. Benefits were there for osteoporosis, vasomotor symptoms, geo symptoms, and skin preservation. So this, we have to remember. So ultimately, from this debate, one thing is clear. What Maninder said and what I am saying, one thing is clear. HRT cannot be given to all women in menopause. There are certain indications. We have to specify them. And as rightly said, the window of opportunity is there for younger women with immediate, just within 10 years of that menopause. They have to be risk stratified, and you have to identify those women who need HRT. All women cannot be prescribed menopause. One size will not fit all. You have to tailor, you have to find out, and the current recommendation of WHO is that women who have hot flushes, night sweats, or symptoms, genitourinary symptoms, and whose quality of life is affected, they should be prescribed MHT in the lowest dose possible. So indications are all these: vasomotor symptoms, urogenital, early menopause, premature ovarian failure, sleep disturbances, aches and pains. So those who are symptomatic, they can be prescribed low dose for the shortest period of time. And you have to risk stratify. You have to find out those who are smokers, may have risk of dementia, stroke, family history, high blood pressure, lipid profile has to be done, mammography has to be done. Find out this cardiovascular risk by the cardiovascular risk calculator, and you need avoid MHT in those who are high risk, known ASCVD, CAD, PAD, known venous thrombosis, known stroke, known clotting disorders. You cannot prescribe to them. Those who have a definite risk, you have to be with caution, like diabetes, smoking, uncontrolled hypertension, obesity. There is a definite risk here. So you have to be careful. And those who are low risk, recent menopause, normal weight, normal blood pressure, active female, these are the ones you can prescribe. So Menopausal hormone therapy is for those who are not responding to the lifestyle modification, and for them it is an effective treatment. For most women who have mild variety of these symptoms, you can, use common simple things. You can give vitamin A, you can advise weight loss, cognitive behavior therapy, but only those who are not responding to these, you can prescribe menopausal hormone therapy. So again, the tagline is MHT not for all, but for those who need it. So, and apart from that, you have these non-hormonal treatment also, which are very important to remember. The serotonin, epinephrine uptake inhibitors, and those also can be used. And for genitoury urinary symptoms also, for those who have moderate to severe GSM, you can prescribe, and those who are not responding to the lubricants and moisturizer, for them you can prescribe, but not for all. Again, in primary ovarian failure, you can prescribe, because the POF does have such a lot of problem, emotional trauma, loss of fertility, various symptoms, but we can prescribe to them up to the normal age of menopause and not after that. So you have to remember to tailor make, and you should know women where HRT should be avoided. That is a history of breast cancer, CHD, previous thromboembolic event, active liver disease, unexplained vaginal bleeding, high risk for endometrial cancer, and transient ischemic attack. So these women we cannot prescribe. So let us remember that hormonal therapy still has an important role in treating women who have symptoms, but it should not be used to prevent disease. It cannot be used as a preventive strategy. It cannot be used for all. So we do have otherwise decisions like breathing and relaxation techniques, yoga, clinical hypnosis, cognitive behaviorism. They do have a role to play. Phytoestrogens and black cohosh, they do not have much difference as per as literature. You have to map the menopause. You have to weigh your options. You have to weigh the evidence, and accordingly you can fit menopause therapy, hormonal therapy to the individual. You cannot give it as a blanket to all women. One size does not fit all. You have to tailor your choice. Thank you very much.
So, you are going to conclude, madam?
Yeah, Megha.
Yeah, please.
Mandakini, you want to comment first?
No, madam, please, you go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Battery is dying down.
Okay. Surekha, wonderful. And what I want to comment at the end is, both of you are coming to the same thing, saying that it is not for all. And wherever it is indicated, it should be given. Two things, comments I want to do, because both the ideas are same. Both of you are presenting almost to the same level. What when Maninder said and what Surekha said, almost the same. What I want to tell is one thing. You said lowest dose, shortest period. That slogan has gone. No, it is my observation what you said. The right dose, right time, and right type of hormones. Yes. Because we have now bezodoxifene and we have ospemifene, tibolone. So whenever it is necessary, we have to give all these things. Suppose if it is a case breast cancer, we know very well we were blaming the estrogen before for the breast cancer. Now it has changed. It is because of the synthetic progesterones that are used, it is given. But now the latest ELITE study has said, even if you give natural hormones, there is a little increased incidence of breast cancer. That is why in those cases, it is the bezodoxifene combination, it is advised. And second thing, what you said, any symptomatic patient, we have to try non-hormonal, like yoga, like all these things to try. No. you have to divide the patient whether it is a symptomatic or asymptomatic. Symptomatic patient, you should give hormones. Again, the rules work out within 10 years of menopause and below the age of 60 years. You have to give hormone. I'll tell you why. If you start, if the heart pressures are poor, that is a indirect biological evidence to say that this patient is going to have the cardiovascular manifestations at a later date, like myocardial infarction or anything. So within 5 years, if you give it, definitely they have got advantage over extending it for a longer time. That is why once they complain of any of the vasomotor problems, we have to give. Again, I'm not going to tell what are the indications because both of you did such a wonderful job in telling, but this is the controversy we have to give to them. Second thing is no preventive. You cannot rule out preventive because it is a evolving study. Menopause is not since, though it is there, it is a eternal truth of the women's life, menopause will occur. But it is like a child, though the women are old, it is like a child growing. Only very lately all the things are coming. Today something is there, tomorrow it may change. That is why the guidelines are coming from the International Menopause Society, Indian Menopause Society, UK, Australia and all those things. Previously, the preventive aspect was not there. Now, in the recent 2017 guidelines, it is told any patient who is a high risk for osteoporosis and risk for the fractures, she can be advised to prevent fractures for the patient in the later life. And next thing is repeat urinary tract infections if the patient is getting, where there is no infective treatment is there. There also to prevent those things, we can give the menopausal hormone therapy. Again, we have to remember it is the 10 years within the menopause and below the 60 years of age. These things I thought I will comment on these two things. And one more thing, just one more thing I wanted to tell. Out of two, micronized progesterone and dihydroprogesterone, which is the best? For dihydroprogesterone is better than micronized progesterone because of its effect on the LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. That is not there with the micronized progesterone. So that is a better than the micronized progesterone. And it is a wonderful arguments what you have done. And I appreciate you for in such a way you have dealt with it. In 7 minutes, nobody would have done much better than you. So hats off to you and claps for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And wonderful. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Ambuja has said everything so perfectly well. But I also want to add that you both have done a wonderful job. Presentations were good. And you harped upon that not all. So that also we agree that it is not for all. We have to assess the high risk to the benefits. And each individual case is different. Their history, their genetics. There are so many things which are dependent. So I think you both have done a great job. And I declare me and Dr. Ambuja both are winners. So thank you
very much, madam.
I want to add just one point before
presenting in front of
Sureka,
yes,
just one point. Yeah, because in the recent years now they are highlighting in the oncology cases also because we have increasing their life. So sometimes these cases come in early perimenopause also and before rather premenopause. And then they are having sort of premature ovarian insufficiency, or they are having their bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy with hysterectomy also. In those cases, we can give because we have to make their life comfortable. And wherever not feasible to give orally, we should give vaginal because these patients have lots of vaginal symptoms. One thing for my colleagues is that if you have night sweats, please, in the window of opportunity, get your all the tests done, your family history taken, and if there is no family history, please start on menopause hormone therapy, because that is going to do wonders for you. That is the fact. Within 7-10 days only, you get your relief of symptoms. So please.
Definitely. I do agree that those who require it, those who need it, definitely should be prescribed.
I have to leave now. I'm going.
Yes, yes. Maninder, thank you so much.
Final word I will tell you. The final word I will tell you. Whatever is said and done, we are not prescribing hormones as it is required. Both the doctors and the patients are equally afraid of either taking the hormones or giving hormones. Even if you prescribe, they will take only about 2-3 months and then they won't take. But exception is the Tibolon, which is what can I say? It's an addictive hormone. Once they start taking, they feel elated. They don't leave the hormone even if they are 65. We said, do leave it. They don't leave the hormone. Otherwise, as it is, you yourself think for how many patients you are giving. It's only for me.
I have a few patients who are really addicted to menopause hormone therapy, and they are almost 50-55 years of age, and they are still taking them.
That's what, but not many. You can say only in percentages. Not everybody is taking. So we have to propagate saying that in needy patients, they have to take the hormones. So
definitely, ma'am. It was.
Thank you, Rashmi and Surekha, for giving me the opportunity.
Madam, speaking in front of you and a person of your stature or knowledge.
No. Don't talk like that. I am feeling like that. Both of you are so great. You have arranged it so well and so much spoken. I thought I learned a lot today. Well, of course, for every webinar we attend, we learn. We are students forever.
So thank you, ma'am, for staying with us till the end. Dr. Rashmi, can we go for the formal vote of thanks, please?
Yeah, if please permit us to leave, is okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
We acknowledge and we are especially thankful to Dr.
Manisha is come, so she can give the vote of thanks.
Yes, and Dr. Manisha Khate, I request you to kindly give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rashmi. It was an excellent webinar on the women of substance, and I congratulate Surekha madam and Rashmi for coordinating and making such a nice program on occasion of our Women's Day. As a Secretary General of Vidarbha ISOPAP, I would like to propose vote of thanks. First of all, to our chief guest, Dr. Krishnendu Gupta, sir. He has taken all his time to come and guide us on this webinar. Then our madam, Dr. Kamal Bakshi madam, who has also guided us with her words of wisdom. Dr. NM sir, guest of honor, who as usual, as always, has spoken very nicely about the women in his talk as a guest of honor. Then our today's speaker, Dr. Parikshit Tang sir, Dr. Pankaj Desai sir, Dr. Maninder Ahuja ma'am. All these star words, they have shared their words. Thank you for giving such a rich talk on women. Then our star women of substance today, Mrs. Amruta Fadnavis ma'am, Dr. Nandita Palshitkar ma'am, Dr. Rishma Pai ma'am, Dr. Anuradha Ridorkar madam, Dr. Vaidehi Marathe ma'am. You all have given such a nice, interesting session that we were hearing the inputs from all the sides of our this side. Then, thanks to our chairperson for today, Dr. Selva Priya ma'am, Kavita Gautam, Dr. Lakshmi Shrikhande madam, Dr. Pardeshi sir, Dr. Girish Mane, Dr. Archana Verma madam, Dr. Mandakini Meg madam, Dr. Ambuja madam, who was all here to enlighten us till the end of the program. Thank you so much for taking time for such a wonderful session. Our MOC, Jaya and Shalaka, thank you for coordinating this for conducting this program so smoothly. And thank you, Rashmi, Surekha madam, for conducting such a wonderful session. It was such an interesting session.
Special thanks to Corona Remedies.
Yes.
Special thanks to Corona Remedies
And
and
thank you to
Shah.
Corona Remedies. Yes. for
And my
conducting.
personal thanks to all my executives from Vidarbha Superb. All of you, we work in hand, and I think it is a teamwork. All of you make this organization what it is. So thank you to all of you for being there and assisting. And special thanks to Rashmi, Jaya, and Vrishali, Shalaka, and Manisha who are here. And thank you so much for making this happen and making such a wonderful.
Special thanks to
Thank you.
Abhishek
Thank you so
Shah
much, ma'am.
from Corona Remedies, Nishi, Vasu sir for coordinating and cooperating in a most best excellent way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, and have
Thank
a
you,
great evening. Thank you. We see you again. Thank you, Kamal Bakshi ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lakshmi ma'am. Thank you. Bye.